just still wearing that. Hello, try again. Wow. Hello, everybody. It is a day of the week. Let me go ahead and change some stuff really quick. I'm gonna boost this back up. Okay. Okay, so I figured out what the problem is with my audio, you guys. It's been something that y'all have been talking about for a while. Y'all have been saying for forever, like, OMG, Lux, your audio is too quiet. Okay. I figured out what the problem is. So the problem is that my computer just keeps like in the normal like okay, there's like device management kind of things for your sound, and in the fucking device management for the sound, it's like LOL, I've decided to reduce your volume down to 31% randomly. So I'm just going to have to keep an eye on that and make sure it doesn't continue to do it. And thusly, I have also reduced the makeup gain on the audio. So I actually think that this is probably going to be much higher quality audio than we've had for a while too, because I'm not like boosting makeup gain, causing like distortion and bullshit. I do not know why. Like I literally have to keep going in. Yeah, like Windows system settings, exactly, and like sliding it back up to 100. And there seems to be no option to like save settings or like don't ever fucking automatically adjust this ever again. Like there's nothing. So I'm just gonna have to pay attention. Hello, Kitty Tick. Someone gifted me a blue and I was unaware. Nice. Also, thank you to Tinty7621 who donated, I think, before stream really started. So thank you, shout out. I did add that $5 to the amount that will get us to open the treasure chest. There it is. It's hiding down there. I think I always put the microphone in a slightly different place. So I'm always like slightly covering up the treasure chest. You can see it a little bit better now. Okay, there it is. It's down there. Does this site chat have a notable role? It does. I think it does. It's just something that I don't tinker with very often, but let me go ahead and do this because I'm pretty sure I should be able to do it from here. Boom.
Mama _ Mephistopheles got a tier 1 subscription. Listen up, liberal. I'm gay.
True. Shout out Mama Mephi, who was on the line recently, got to do a hostility episode. That is super fun. I'm very glad. I guess, so it didn't really occur to me, or at least I didn't know kind of what the parameters were for us bringing on guests. Like, I guess I still thought of myself as like kind of a new host, so I wasn't really thinking about bringing on guests, but now we are thinking more about those kind of things. Arden just happened to see a clip of Mama Mephistopheles. I don't even think it was one of Mama's clips. I think it was like a repost page on Facebook or Instagram or something. And then she went digging and found Mama Methy's TikTok page, I think. And from there, we got guest spot. So I did reach out to Riverboat Jack because I think that we have a lot of crossover in our communities between me and Riverboat Jack. So I was like, let's go ahead and reach out. Y'all had told me that she was interested in guesting on the line, and obviously she has a pretty decent, consistent core following, so it would be good cross-pollination for everybody involved. And so I went ahead and messaged her to kind of just get the lines of communication open about that. And I'm sure that we've had lots of very positive comments on the page, on the line page. I went ahead and updated this. Thank you, Mama Mephi, for donating $5. Went ahead and put it to the donation total for today. Faulty Branches says, that sounds like Windows I know better than you settings. There used to be a setting for turning off communication activity handling of auto gain changes in control panel sound communications and set it to do nothing. Okay, I can check it really fast. Let me just do a quick little check, and we'll see if anything comes up. I would love to see a line stream with you and Jack. Yeah, I think it would be a lot of fun. I love Riverboat Jack, yeah. And I know, like, we clearly share a lot of the same ideals. We have both worked with, Jesus, what is it called? Progressive Victory. I made a ton of custom songs for her. Yeah. Yeah, lots of very positive crossover in our chats. Quantum Chaos, who is a regular viewer on the line, says hostility was great, especially since I forgot Thursday was Thursday and I missed Takis. I'm bad at calendars. No. Yeah, shit happens. It's okay. I am going to be on Takis. Oh my God. I love October, you guys. Girl, there's 41 people in here and only 25 likes. Can you just really quick? It's super quick. It's easy. It's free. Just click the like button really fast. It immediately YouTube is like, oh, I should show this to 12 more people. It is like a direct correlation. So it's a super easy way for you guys to help the show. We're just kind of chilling today, just kind of hanging out. If something political comes up, we'll talk about it, but I don't have any specific intentions. What did you say? You said control panel sound communications.
Drea has
Oh my
donated
gosh.
$50. Can't hang long but here to support.
Thank you, Drea. That is very generous. God, you guys, sometimes I just don't know what to do. I'm like, you just drop a $50 donation, and I'm like, okay. It's just, I never really learned how to like perform gratitude correctly, I don't think. And especially when you get like overwhelmed by kindness and generosity, it is kind of a weird thing. But anyway, thank you very much. I super duper appreciate it. That is grocery money in my pocket. Groceries.
Mama _ Mephistopheles gifted 5 tier 1 subscriptions. Listen up, liberal. I'm really gay.
We have some important announcements to make today, okay, everybody? We're gay. We're here. We're queer. Possible influx of viewers coming. Okay, cool. That's always fun. Influx of viewers and likes, truly. Thank you for the donation. I'm glad that we have made sure everybody knows double, triple clear. Not just liberals, but everybody needs to know that Mama Mephi is gay. So we've driven the message completely home. Just have to make sure it really sinks in. Oh my gosh. And yeah, enjoy. Faulty Branches, Sapphic Hazard, Jazz Dog, Nethercat, and Lord Byron. You have the new, you have a little star next to your name now. Little star. Oh my God, why is this so big now? Why is this window so big? I might end up actually switching to Windows 11 just because it is so much more, you can just compartmentalize things in a certain way on the desktop that is just like really convenient, that I use it like on my secondary computer while I'm working on production. I have not seen the Mama Lion episode yet. Ooh, yeah. I did not watch it either. So I think, so I guess minor spoilers from the Mama Mephi call. Mostly they did not get any spicy callers, but it was a lot of like how to help people get involved in activism and advocacy. So just lots of that kind of vibes, positive, friendly vibes. Yeah. Down with Windows 11, go with Ubuntu. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so I would consider moving to Linux, but it's going to take like months of learning, okay? Before I could even begin. And then I would need a whole separate machine. I'm like not going to dick around with my primary work computer, at least not at first. Takis really needs to work on its spicy color lineup. I'd love to host Takis sometime too. IDK, how to say that without sounding overeager. Yeah, so the only thing about it is that it's a people's job, and having a guest on does necessarily like kick off one of us from the thing. And like Ben, especially, like I'm trying to make sure that Ben gets on a lot right now. Although I guess like Arden is taking a little bit of a step back from hosting, so we might have a little bit more space. That's why we do, especially when we bring on new people, that's why we do the Friday and Saturday shows for that, because then we don't like interfere with basically like the schedule of, it would be like if one day a week your boss was like, don't come to work. We're having an intern do your job for free today. Like, if that makes any sense. But definitely, like, yeah, when the opportunity presents itself, I think that we could have more people on Takis for sure. Especially if we're starting to look for like more permanent hosts. Because like Katie, it doesn't seem like Katie is coming back for any regular kind of posting. I do want to ask Katie if she'll do a Friday show with me or something. Um, do you have any projects I can add to a post if I add your link to this video to a Facebook post? Oh, I guess like nothing specific right now. I have my luxander.net website, which is like, I guess, the best place for like people to get a lot of links related to what I'm doing. I need to double check everything on there and like make sure everything's up to date. But yeah, luxander.net is kind of my, it's like my link tree, sort of. I think a Josie Meffy show would be amazing. Meffy's very grassroots experience combined with Josie's from a relatively DC insider perspective. That is a hot tip. Yes, agree. I agree that that would be a good combo. And like the thing is too, Mama, like if you get on Takis, honestly, frankly, we get a lot of just like advice calls. And like, someone earlier said, you got to work on that. And like, I don't know what else to do. Ooh, hey, the Patreon button just came up. That's cool. You can also support me on Patreon. Heard you were waiting until you had enough money to commission me, but I'd rather get the details of what you want first, and then you can just owe me money for as long as you need. Okay. Cool. Basically, like, I just was kind of thinking of getting music for my intro. Like, before, like, now I just play that. I like bought that one album off of your Bandcamp, and I just pick songs
Quantum
from it.
Chaos has donated $15. I just want to see if the robot can handle gibberish, so here is some money. Biv Fig Jachas is ex Bishk.
That was pretty solid. Thank you, Quantum Chaos. Adding text to speech was a great decision. I love that. And we are going to open the treasure chest already. That's crazy. Crazy, you guys. Let me fix it. Let me do it. We got to see number go up. Burr. I love it when the number go up. What did I put in there? Oh, okay. I remember what I did. Okay. I remember what I have done. What have I will have done? Anyway, but no, so like I know that I was playing. Okay, hold on. I'll start over in a second. Mental note. Jazz dog music conversation. We're going to open the chest now. Treasure chest. Treasure chest. Treasure chest. Do you know what time it is? It's time to open the treasure chest. Also, do you know what time it is? It's Halloween. I think this is my first show since Halloween started. Halloween. I don't know if you guys remember. I think that I may have shown you this guy before. Do not slam shut on my fingers. It wants to murder me. This isn't a mimic, but it is like trying to be a mimic. It's trying to like un. Anyway, this is my voodoo doll. I crocheted him. I don't have a button. I don't have buttons for his eyes. I need to get some buttons. I'm not sure where to get just random buttons from, but I need a couple buttons. But look at him. He's so cute. He's pretty. It is a little bit Little Big Planet. Yeah, it is. It's been a while since I've seen that, but he's supposed to be a voodoo doll. You know. Woot Halloween, already starting to work on my costume. Okay, so Halloween is actually on a Friday. So Jesus Christ, for once, one of my pagan holidays is on the day that it's on. I get to celebrate it on the day that it is because I do not have work on Friday. Someone somewhere feels cuddled out of nowhere. I hope so. I do know Alec Gunter, and I do know that he does crochet. I was on a charity stream with him recently. He was raising money for something. I can't even remember what it was. We came on for a couple hours to chat, and yeah, I like to ask people questions about our niche hobbies. So I was like, "Oh, hey, those are cute. I bet those work up really fast and stuff." He was giving away some plushies that he made. Oh my god, my hair is not cooperating today. I'm just gonna put this right there. Put it in the booby pocket. So I do not have plans to do a costume for Halloween this year, but I am going to probably chill at home and enjoy my day off and maybe like light a candle for Samhain. Maybe I'll do some tarot that day. Ooh, I oh, it's in the other room. So I have a couple of these. I think they're called like dowsing stones, and one of them is like I can actually wear it like a necklace, and it's really cute. I left it in my bedroom though. Lux no costume? Yeah, I know. I don't have any Halloween plans. I just gonna sit around. But I was telling Jazz Dog about my. So originally, I would just play music from the library of the "Don't Make Me Pay for It" on YouTube. You know, where like there's like the library, and you can go and be like, "Hello, let me have free music, please." So I would just play that. But then I realized, like, oh, Jazz Dog has music on the Bandcamp, and so I was for a little while I was just playing it from your Bandcamp. I would just like play a couple songs. And like usually off of the one album because I could just like have it play two songs in a row and they would just go from one to the other. And then I ended up going ahead and throwing you $10 for the album so that I could download it so that I wouldn't have to like keep just playing it on Bandcamp, I guess. Because it's another tab that I keep open on my computer and everything. So that was kind of the journey. So that's why I was thinking, oh, at some point I need to actually ask Jazz Dog to make me some intro music and commission him so that I can have like something unique and everything. I don't know. Like I think that you had a couple that you had done for Demon Mama, and then of course there's like the bathroom song, but the like intro music I think you had done. Um, so yeah, I don't know. Oh, and also for sure, I saw you say something about making music for the line. We are looking for like you probably I think you said something about the Jimmy Snow channel. So on Jimmy Snow's channel where we do Calling It Now, which we're gonna start increasing that. It's gonna end up being like 5 or more days a week that we do Calling It Now, and so we do not have an intro song for that, and we have intro songs for most of our other shows. So if you wanted to reach out, I think the email is contact@qnaline.com. If you wanted to like see about doing a commission for us, because I know that we're looking to do that. Hello, Guzman Jones. There's so many people from the line here. DM bathroom song was such a banger. I miss that. I know. I know. Uh, we are recording an episode of the podcast, Gayfesh and Demon Mama and myself tomorrow. So if y'all miss Demon Mama, you can't get the bathroom song back. But if you miss Demon Mama, she still does a podcast with us. I think she's also doing other stuff. Like she's working on other creative projects. I don't want to tease anything that she's not ready to talk about publicly. But yeah, she's working on some other creative projects right now. And she's doing well. I love the music for Riverboat Jack's live streams. Yeah. I found the line from you, Lux. You get credit for me being here, not them. Yeah. It's cross pollination. Cross pollination is good. It's good. So there's about 52 people in here and 51 likes, which is telling me that most of you have already hit the like button. If you haven't, you can. I've heard of Demon Mama from The Amazing Atheist. Oh, that sounds bad. I fucking hate TJ Kirk, dude. Wait, where did oh wait, they did a stream together at some point, right? Like The Amazing Atheist and like Demon Mama, they had like a positive conversation, I think. Bro, I fucking do not like TJ Kirk. Anyway, I would hang out on the line, but I don't use YouTube chats. Okay, so here's an interesting little thing. There's 57 of you here and a lot of crossover from the line, so I think now is a good time to talk about it. I Okay, so there's a new feature that's about to roll out on YouTube that you may not know about. It's kind of like if you have an Instagram account, you might sometimes see that posts, like sometimes a post will go up and it has like multiple creators. And so like each creator kind of also posts it to their own people. Um, it's like a dual posting function. And I think the metrics are shared across both. I'm not exactly sure how it works as far as like who gets paid for ads or whatever on Instagram. But on YouTube, they're about to roll out something where if someone, so like, let's say I'm live on Takis and that's a live show on the line. I could basically stream that stream simultaneously on my channel, and so it would get like the separate notifications. Like notifications would go out to you guys if I hosted the stream in that way. But like so we could have our separate little chat here, and all of your community stuff could be like isolated, and you don't have to deal with like the bigger audience on the line. But all of your watch time and like interactions with the video and the metrics and stuff, they all go to Takis and just benefit the show by amplifying its original audience by having the creators like host a mirror or whatever. Um, so it's functionally the same if you watch my content, like if you watch the live stream on my show or you watch the live stream on the line, it's exactly the same as far as how much money I make and how much money we make as a group, because like part of the money goes to production and part of the money goes to like paying for our call-in studio stuff. It's a huge business. So yeah, that is something that's about to happen. And I figured, since I let you guys know on the Discord server anyway, when I'm hosting on the line, I figured I would probably do that, mirroring the content. So depending on the host that day, I'll get up to 3 notifications for the same show. Potentially, I guess. I'm not really sure how that's going to work if you are subscribed to like all 3 channels. You can find out, you'll be able to find out like which channels YouTube actually is willing to send you notifications for, I guess. Unless you have turned on all. If it's on personalized, you'll just get to experience like which channel does YouTube actually want you to watch. So along that line, how would supers work on this dual stream thing? The supers would go to the line, which is fine and good. You know? Sometimes you forget to announce you're on the line, so it would be good if it's automatic. None of that is automatic, to be clear. That's just me sometimes dropping the ball. I guess I could notify you guys like 30 minutes beforehand instead of right when it starts. That might help a little bit. But then, yeah, if I'm hosting it on my own channel, you'll potentially also get the YouTube notification. But, so, something that I was wondering is, I have been posting, and y'all may have seen or may have not seen, my little True Blood video, where I was like, hey, True Blood is super cool and fun and neat. It's like this messy fucking trash gay allegory. That video is obviously not performing great. I was still like trying to post those kind of media videos on this main channel. But the thing is that every once in a while, I do still post a political video. I do still have some like, opinions that I occasionally want to share. And those videos do very well. Like more than 10 times better than even my regular politics videos. And then meanwhile, when I post this video about True Blood or whatever, I'm getting like fewer than 1,000 views. So I've been kind of contemplating what to do with this. And, if I'm already going to be mirroring our call-in shows from Takis on top of streaming regularly, like I'm going to continue streaming 2 days a week. That's my plan. Continue streaming 2 days a week. I mean, unless something changes, maybe I'll go down to 1 day a week. I don't know. Like 1 day a week for longer, maybe. I have no clue. Have not really considered it. For now, I'm just going to keep my schedule the same. And that puts me on like a 5-day a week schedule, which kind of works for me. So, but then the question is, like, where do I continue posting these True Blood type videos here? Because clearly, like, I enjoy having the platform to make political comments when I feel the need to make political comments. Oh my God, about to show everybody my titty. And so it's going to be really difficult to like permanently change the primary channel's identity. Even here, where we're doing like just chatting streams, I still am sharing my political opinions, and that still is a very big part of what people watch me for. Cool. I don't like it, but it is what it is. So I'm kind of thinking, since I have permission to re-upload any clips that get made through the line, and I have just recently started a channel where I'm like, I'm just going to upload all these line clips just indiscriminately, just throw them up there, which obviously does not do well in the algorithm and it is not picking up and everything. Um, so I think here's kind of my preliminary idea of what I am going to do. I know I've been talking about like what's the thing that am I going to make a new channel? Am I going to do this? I've been talking about it for forever. So here's my newest idea of what is going to occur. I think that I probably should just try to upload clips from the line on this channel, but like edit them and maybe even have me show up at the beginning of the video and go like, "Hey, so I host this call-in show on the line and we had a caller who wanted to argue about trans women in sports. If you enjoy that kind of conversation, stick around and watch this video." And then maybe have like an edited version of the call where like I maybe clip out if the person is going on and on and on for too long or something like that. Like I could cut it down a little bit to make it just a little bit more curated or not. I don't know. Haven't really decided how much work I want to put into it. But maybe that is the secret to having like regular politics-oriented uploads on the Luxander channel. I don't know if my existing following is going to hate that because they're more accustomed to this like talking thing that we do, like one-on-one versus like I'm having a conversation with the caller and the co-host and we completely ignore chat the entire time. So like I don't know if it's going to be like bad to maybe just like try a few episodes and test the waters and see how it goes. But then for my fantasy videos or my media videos that I keep doing, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the channel One Oasis Left, which already has like more than 1,000 subscribers. So that's like one of the things that it needs in order to be monetized in the partner program. I'm thinking about just taking that channel, renaming that channel Musing Moss, probably retire the current Musing Moss channel, which has about 300 subscribers, and just like turn One Oasis Left into Musing Moss, where I'm just going to post like I'll probably delete from the main channel and re-upload as a mirror all of the like media-oriented videos that I've done in the last year or two, and just kind of let that hopefully start to pick up a little bit more speed and direct people to it a lot and just focus on like two channels. Luxander is probably going to be mostly the line uploads. And then like probably every month or every couple weeks, there will be some insane thing that happens that I feel the need to have an opinion about. And so there will still occasionally be just me talking to the camera videos, but like in the midst of a regular politics and trans-oriented stream of videos. Does that make any sense? I haven't decided whether this is a good thing to do. I'm like, this is a preliminary idea of what to do that will capitalize on the fact that I have a lot of subscribers here. I'm already grandfathered into the program, and it's all trans and politics oriented. That's actually not the case, the fuzzy logic. Like, I'm pretty sure we specifically have things set up on the line to where it doesn't automatically flag the clip videos, because clearly like we have a lot of other hosts and creators who re-upload their clips and they're performing fine. But I do know that like to keep in the tone of my channel, it's a good idea to add my own intro and outro. Did you ask how to do so what I do to download the long videos is I spent $40 on a lifetime license to a program called 4K Video Downloader, and you just paste the link and it downloads it for you, and then you have it. Jimmy warned Alyssa about it on the podcast. Okay, maybe Okay, it's interesting that that did not come up during our meeting about it, but maybe that's something that he just recently learned. Maybe one of our creators had an issue where it was just like, oh, maybe like my re-uploads showed up on the back end, or one of our uploads showed up on the back end as like a, hey, just so you know, somebody's using your copyrighted material. Like, I assumed that if you had it set to a different setting, like that would not happen. I don't know. I was about to go further inside baseball and then realized that that's probably not great to do. Anyway, hi. There's almost 69 likes on the video. Damn, y'all are bringing it today. Try to fix my fucking hair. I know of 4K downloader, but I use Stasher Video Downloader because I can download clips of a long video instead of the whole thing, which is what I use for ripping audio and sampling them in songs. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that makes sense. I think like what I could do is I could like probably pick the spicy calls to post a couple spicy calls, and then maybe post every once in a while, like take several of the more advice oriented calls that we get and kind of put them into a maybe 30-minute compilation of like maybe 3 10-minute calls or something. Lots of conversation in the chat today. I did see the True Blood video, but 'tis the season for politics considering the times. I mean, I felt like my politics videos were also not performing very well earlier this year. But maybe that was because they rolled out those changes of like, we're going to reduce the number of views you appear to have because of the number of people using ad block, and they just didn't tell anybody. So like, shit, yeah, maybe my channel was fine the whole time and I was just freaking out over nothing. I have no clue. Do you think that there's any US trans people with asylum claims that would be workable? I have not looked into all of the country's rules about asylum, but the in Canada at least, I looked into it there, and basically the if there is a safe place for you to go in your country, then you can't really apply for asylum in Canada. So like in the United States, we have sanctuary states. We have states where like you do have protections and rights and things, and even like laws against being extradited to another state and bullshit like that. So I think for that reason, Canada, I think that maybe there was a Canada did approve one non-binary claimant for asylum, but it is not. It's really case by case. You know, there's not like a blanket yes, we're accepting refugees from America. Sapphic Hazard says, honestly, I thought the True Blood video was politically pertinent. Like those 7 years where HBO appropriated queer language for money, actually both artistically interesting and relevant to their current path. Is the True Blood video a good listen? I have some yard work and Halloween prep to do, and I listen to stuff. Yeah, there is some stuff that shows up on the screen, and like there's one in particular where it's like it would help if you were looking at it, but I do describe things pretty well, and it was not a video that was made like with the intent of like, you absolutely have to watch this in order to get like jokes or anything. You should be able to listen to it and enjoy it pretty good. Naomi says, I always open a separate browser with no ad block to play every video I watch on my ad blocked browser so I don't end up fucking over creators I like. I'll take it. I'll take it. That's awesome. There are lots of cities across the US, even in red states like mine, San Antonio, are working on passing ordinances to become LGBT sanctuaries within these red states. The protections aren't necessarily robust enough, but people should know. Yeah, I'm really glad that there are localities that are trying to protect people and everything. It's been a while since I looked into it, but the non-binary asylum case also involved a person who had already been living in Canada. Right. So yeah, that's the thing is like if you want to if you want to move to Canada, you have to just do the normal immigration thing. You know, you can't rely on asylum. Just get a passport, apply for a residency, get a job there, and like get your permanent residency in like 3 years. You know, just you're just going to have to immigrate the normal way. I used to not use ad block for some things, but the ads have gotten so bad lately. I stopped doing that when I started getting Tradwife ads. Ooh, fun. Got another ad for the Federal Bureau of Prisons today. I have tried to the extent that it's possible to prevent my ad space from being horrible. There are certain things like I've omitted stuff about like diets and I think like religious posts or something. Like I have limited it somewhat. I can't limit political posts without potentially limiting like posts that I would like to see. Like if there's a Democrat who's purchased ad space, I want that Democrat to have their ad shown. Um, and I am assuming that y'all are not going to be traumatized by seeing right wing ads, which may happen sometimes. Luckily, things aren't quite bad enough yet for us to have to seek asylum. We can still just move. Um, I don't know. I feel like this week in particular has been I think this week in particular has been okay, so you know, like I'm thinking of the apartment raid in Chicago. The like I just increasingly just having a lot of activity specifically in blue states, like for to have specifically moved from a red state to a blue state in the hopes of it being safer, and then for them to target blue states and blue cities to be like, we're gonna come create a military presence here. So yeah, there was a raid on an apartment complex in Chicago where they just like in the middle of the night, every single person in the apartment complex was like arrested, zip tied, made to come outside. Half dressed children in zip ties is the image that you should have in your head about this if you haven't already seen it. Um, so yeah, I am just not feeling very comfortable. I think is a way to describe. I got the Tradwife ads while watching Takis. Oh wow. Yeah. I encourage people to do YouTube Premium if you can afford it, you know. Yeah, Mephi points out the problem is that the time to flee is before things get that bad, but they don't actually grant asylum until things get so bad that people are trapped, right? Like by the time they've had their passports removed and everything. The problem with saying that moving is enough also is that not everyone can move, particularly trans people who statistically trend towards the poverty line. Truly, like I could have applied for a couple more credit cards and I could have moved completely on credit cards and still be $10,000 underwater right now. I could have done that. Instead, I was able to move and have relatively little debt from it. Mostly it was just that I ended up having to pay taxes immediately after, which cut into like our um, budget that was like covering us while my husband was looking for a job. But yeah, so anyway, it was a big deal to have community contributions make that happen, but not everybody has that. and not everybody can afford being $10,000 in credit card debt, you know? I couldn't move if I wanted to, but also I don't want to. True, we shouldn't have to. Yeah, that's the thing too. I was saying this recently, like, I'm dug in. I don't think I'm going to Canada. I will get a passport because I just think it's a good thing to have an official document like that, but I don't want to go anywhere. I'm not planning on going anywhere. And if that means that I have to deal with some really fucked up shit happening, then I guess I will have to face that. True. Fuzzy Logic says, if it makes you feel any better, the shitty advertisers are wasting their money on audiences that have no chance of being persuaded to buy their shit. Yeah. Um, what do you think you're accomplishing by showing a bunch of left-leaning people ads about your Republican candidacy? I don't know. Agreed. Yeah. Ancom Jane says, I think we should not rely on moving away because, in my opinion, nowhere is safe from fascism. Yeah. We might delay the problem by a few years by moving away, but I don't think that that is going to prevent it from happening. Like, even in France, like, I know a trans family who's moving to France, and it is going to be so much better there, but also there is a right-wing party that is gaining more traction in France. So I don't want to go anywhere either. I love the Pacific Northwest and have lived here my entire life, but I also want to live. I guess, yeah, it's just like I don't know, like, I guess I think I can make it out on the other side, ultimately, is what, like, there must be some kind of delusional belief, right? That, like, I don't know. I guess I'm just determined to make it not dangerous here. I don't know if that's, like, delusional or, like, crazy or silly or something. Also, I feel like moving is kind of giving up. I know people give Vegas a lot of shit, but I actually love my home. Sure, yeah. I mean, yeah. I do, I guess, kind of feel like leaving Kansas was sort of giving up on the idea that it was ever going to be a progressive place. Like, it's never even close to being purple, much less blue. Like, it's never even close to being purple. So what the fuck point is there? Whereas I feel like moving to Oregon, a place that does kind of go purple in some ways, I'm like, I can protect this place. I can make this a blue place. I can protect it here. People call that obstinate. Yeah. What's up, small frog? Welcome to the website chat. Also, Fuzzy Logic has hopped over to the website chat. Hello. Some call it obstinate, but I call it determination. Yeah. Hello, Shakespeare. Welcome in. Yeah. We have reached 69 likes. Oh, that's nice. Love that. Huge fan. I feel like the future of the US is even worse now that Trump is visibly forcing red states to become even more red via redistricting. At least the future of these red states. Yeah. I think maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Again, I've kind of just desensitized myself. Like, once you really start to grapple with the truly imminent mass death that we're going to be experiencing regardless of who is president, I'm just looking at it like, oh, okay, it's going to happen a little bit sooner now. Okay. Like, I know that it's going to be horrible, and I know that I can't really do much about it except make the place that I currently live into a better place. And, like, okay, so I think part of why I do not get worked up about this is that, like, I see the federal, like, trying to continue to extend power, But like, how are you going to continue to extend power when the economy is gone? You know what I mean? Like, so I'm just like, what are you going? I'm all the way fucking over here. Like, I'm all the way over here on the coast. What are you gonna do? Like, when the economy collapses, how is the federal government? Like, are the soldiers gonna keep working after their like third month of no pay? Like, you know what I mean? I'm just like, okay, it's just gonna happen faster, and I just have to be in a place where I can be relatively safe and have a community of people who want to keep each other safe. Like, you know. Wonder how long until the Dems cave on the shutdown. I'm shocked they haven't yet. That is a great question. I haven't looked up any news about the shutdown. Is there any like new information about it recently? Shutdown, shutdown, shutdown. And I mean, like, I don't think that the Dems are responsible for the shutdown. Like, the, I mean, do the Dems even have enough influence to be responsible for this? If the Republicans have control over both houses of Congress and the presidency, how can it be Dems' fault? Like, is this actually something the Dems are doing even, or if this is just like the Republicans? Accelerationism is not a good plan, but it's quickly becoming one of the only plans. Girl, like, I don't even mean, like, it's not even the plan, right? Like, I'm not even saying it's the plan. I'm just saying, like, this is just purely, like, observational. Like, I just, like, they are accelerating things, you know? Like, I am not for that. I just want to be clear. Like, I'm not pro accelerationism. Like, it just, like, we're just on an exponential, we're on it. Like, we're riding this roller coaster up an exponent, and we are going to crash at some point. I don't think much has changed on this since Friday. Well, I mean, I haven't talked to you guys since last week on Sunday. I guess like some of you saw me on Takis this past week and calling it now, but yeah, I haven't. I was so fucking tired on Wednesday. I was like just super symptomatic, and we had a production meeting for the line anyway, and I was like, whatever, I'll just do this meeting today and then not work. So that's what I did. They actually need 60% for whatever they're trying to do. Okay. So they will need 5 Dems to vote with the Republicans to get that 60%. Okay. All right. Republicans can only choose to override a filibuster. Republicans can choose to override a filibuster only so many times per their rules, and they've already done it once, so they don't want to do it again. Okay, they don't want to like waste their filibuster on this. Systemic says the Reds must negotiate with Blue to get over that vote threshold because fewer than 10 Blue votes are needed, but there has been zero work to find a compromise, so therefore 100% a Trump shutdown. Okay, I see what you mean. Like, yeah, that if they're just trying to get like a couple capitulations, like I won't vote for your fucking budget if you are going to destroy the Affordable Care Act, for example. Which like I was just about to get health insurance. I was just about to try to get health insurance because I'm about to be making a little bit more money. Like this month, I guess later this month, I'll get my first like half of a production paycheck because I started halfway through the month last month. And it's like the only reason it's like a $400 a month plan that is reduced to about $100 a month that I was looking at on the marketplace. And it's like, oh, okay, well, the subsidies would be gone. So I get to have health insurance for the last 2 months of the year. And then I don't get to have health insurance next year because it would be $400 fucking dollars a month for me and my younger sibling to have health insurance. That's crazy. Like, is there any other one single bill that is $400 a month? Like, my electricity is about $100 a month. I think our water bill is like maybe about $100 a month. I don't actually pay attention because it gets lumped in with the rent payment, and I don't pay that. Like about $100 a month maybe, or less than that probably. I don't know, but like Car insurance is $160 a month. Um, I guess if you have a car payment, sometimes that can be 200 or $300 a month, like depending on what the plan was for your car payment. Um, Obviously, rent is the biggest one. About like $2,000 a month for rent or whatever. Like, why is health insurance fucking $400 a month, dude? $2 months is 2 months. Not when you have like complex care needs. And I need to have ongoing relationships with specialists in order to manage my body better. Um, my mom paid over $700 for her electricity bill one year. For the whole year? $700 for the whole year? Because that's honestly not bad. Operator Emma. Welcome in. And honestly, like when I was saying like which bills, like which bills do you get each month that cost that much money? Like rent doesn't even like rent does not count. I mean like all the other shit that isn't rent. Lots of young people have car payments bigger than their rent. What? Oh my god, $700 in a month for electricity. What the fuck, dude? I'm making more money than I ever have, but things have gotten expensive to the point that I can't live by myself even with a stable salaried 9 to 5 job. Right. Yeah. Like I'm trying to make all these like good decisions about stuff, but I mean like I have things that I need and things that I want. Uh I really fucking want a bicycle so fucking bad, and I might be about to buy one. There was one on uh one of the local postings that was like a pretty sweet deal. So I might look into trying to get one. My gas and electric was over 500 quid monthly last I checked. Dude, what? I heard that the gas prices, and I don't know how that converts, I guess. What's 500 pounds to USD? $673. Goodness. Later, Drea. Have a good rest of your day. Bye. Health insurance is $400 because insurance thinks of us as disposable assets. Fucking true. My supported employment program got defunded, so now I'm unemployed. Love that. Sorry, I'm being flippant. Like, sorry that happened to you, though. That's shit. Being rich would solve all of my problems, truly. Like, I'm putting a lot of energy and thought into, like, doing well at my job at the line because, and, like, that's not just for me either. I'm like, look, if we all get more views, we all benefit from that? So I'm like, what can I do personally to make sure we get more views, like, while I'm producing? Like, is there something I can be doing to pump up the numbers? Bicycles. Ah, yeah. I went and test drove a not a motorcycle. Jesus, I test rode a bicycle recently, and it was the first time I have ridden a bicycle in possibly 20 years. So, um, and then I keep checking on the local. I check on like Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace and all those kind of local things. Just to see what's around. And I had kind of decided I wasn't going to buy one used like that. I was like, let me just buy a new bike when I'm ready. I'll go test ride a few bikes and I'll ask them what their opinion is and I'll buy one from the store and I'll get it tuned up and everything. But then I saw this like really good deal last night and I'm like, I could just replace the handlebars because I don't think I like the handlebars. But that's the thing about bikes is you can change all the things. And I'm like, I could probably buy this bike, go get it serviced and like have them tell me like, does the chain need to be replaced or anything like that? Get some maintenance done on it, and then probably have a fully functional bike for less than the cost of what it would be to get a brand new bike. Especially because the bike that I'm looking at comes with a bunch of shit too. Like it already has saddlebags. So yeah, it's like, oh, just the stuff that it already has on it extra almost makes it worth the purchase on its own. I do not know what impact the line is making, but I like it. I would love to see more channels like it. Yeah, um okay, so I think we are making a difference. Like I think we do. Speaking of Jimmy, him and John just started a show, but I like Lux more. Yeah, it's time for calling it now, I think, right? Oh no, it's this is the Sunday show. Matt is doing a reptile expo today, so Jimmy and John are doing the Sunday afternoon show. And then I think there might be an episode of Calling It Now, and then we are doing the evening show tonight, and I'm producing the evening show tonight. But thank you. I'm glad that you like me more. Appreciate it. So the other day we were doing Calling It Now I was on with Jimmy on basically this month. Every time that I'm on Takis, I'm also going to be on Calling It Now immediately afterwards. And Calling It Now is like, we're doing it in the vertical format to get in the shorts feed to hit a different audience. I think we may have actually made some progress with a couple people. Like genuinely, I think we may have actually done it. The first guy was like, I don't agree with transgender for children because, and like, he was like, I don't like it in schools. I don't like all this medical, like, I don't like that we do this medically to kids. And I think by the end of the call, we were able to get him on this, like, if the healthcare is as effective as I say it is, so if he's going to trust me that it's as effective as I say it is, like almost 100% effective, would he agree that we should let families make that decision, basically? And I think he did. I think he fully was like, you're right. Like, this should be, like, we should let families decide. And he had said something about having issues with it in the schools and the teachers shouldn't be talking about it. And I was like, are you able to agree with me at the end of this conversation that, we agree that kids are not stupid. They're smart. They understand. If the kid doesn't feel safe to talk to their parents, do we agree that they should feel safe to talk to their teachers and not have their teachers immediately go narc on them to their parents? Like, do you think it's good for children to have a safe adult at school? And he agreed. And I was like, okay, Jimmy and I'm going to give him partial credit. I think, actually moved the needle for that guy. And he said he was like a liberal centrist or something like that. So it's not like we deconverted a MAGA or whatever. But still, that was good. And then later in the same show, she was a self-described MAGA black woman who was like, what did she say? She said she's like 47 years old in Texas. And I think we may have, like, maybe just Jimmy, like, she gave him credit for saying like the phrase that kind of got her thinking differently in that conversation. But like, I think may have completely broken her attachment to MAGA in that way of like, they don't actually give a shit about you. They want your vote, but they don't actually care about you. You're bringing up the issues of illegal immigration, but clearly, like, the thing that you're actually mad about is that someone tried to screw you over. She was like, oh, illegal immigrants get healthcare for free, and then I got to pay $50,000. And I was like, the problem is somebody tried to charge you $50,000 for medical care, not the immigrant, And even United States citizens, like, hospitals are required to give them medical care if they can't afford it. So it's clearly not like illegal immigrants that you have a problem with in this situation. And I genuinely think that was like two people in one show who I genuinely felt at the end like, oh my God, we may have actually moved the needle for a couple people today. And that's just the people we talk to directly. There's probably a lot of impact we have in the audience that I don't even calculate or pay attention to. That, like, how many people have changed their mind just from being in the chat with us? Maybe not that many, but like more than zero is still moving the needle. Hey, pretty baby. Are you a good boy? Should we change? We've already gotten the treasure chest. Perhaps we shall see the boy if we can get to... Did we get to exactly $100 earlier? Yeah, let's get to $200. And we will see the boy. I don't think we do this when... I don't think I do this on stream, but I'm like... My partner and I... He's just the boy. When we are talking about my cat, we're like... The boy. Yeah, throwing a bone to the token cis guy. I do genuinely want to do a show with Forrest sometime, because so many people call Forrest wanting to talk about trans stuff, and he argues it really well. I'm going to have to convince him to do a show with me at some point. I was playing with the doggy. Doggy. I don't like dogs. But, I mean, I like them for like 10 minutes at a time, but beyond that, I'm like, you can go home. Is also helpful for left-leaning people to formulate their thoughts and opinions in ways they may not have otherwise. Fair enough. Forrest is so cool. Yeah. Forrest is chill. It's like austerity politics, making resources lacking, and then people end up competing and throwing others under the bus for scraps. That's true. I do feel like, yeah, there's a lot of scarcity mindset is how I would describe like how people react to that situation. Oh my god, the boy is screaming. He just... Does anybody else have cats that use the cat box and then they immediately run around and start screaming? That's true, Byron. A disconcerting number of people seem to either think trans kids get sex reassignment surgery or that child and adolescent psychology is just not a field of study, truly. The Forrest and Morticia call with Ulrich is one of my comfort vids. I haven't seen it. I'm realizing that there's a lot of lore across, because we have so many hosts and we're live fucking 5 days a week, multiple times a day now, that... Yeah, there's like, and we all, like, well, not all of us, maybe a good portion of us also have other social media and other channels and stuff. So we have inside jokes from multiple different communities kind of grabbing together. So like the monad, the great monad, I guess I need to go listen to a call or something. I think it was originally, it was a call that Forrest and Erica took at the end of an 8-hour stream or something. And so maybe like the situation of it being the end of an 8-hour stream, and that Forrest had like begged Arden to let one more caller in, you know? We are supposed to be doing a long stream with Forrest and Erica sometime this month. It was scheduled next week. I do not know if it's still going to happen next week, because Forrest was like, oh, we might need to move that. But we have an upcoming Skep Talk. Unless something changes, I think that the plan was, let's go ahead and do one of those long ones this month. And so I'm fucking ready. Whatever day that is, I'm going to order pizza. And we're going to strap in for 8 fucking hours. I don't understand the monad joke. Yeah, I think it's one of those, you would need to have been there to see the phone call. I love Erica. She rambles a ton, but I find it endearing. Super passionate about science. Yes, I do like that she is passionate about science. The rambling can be kind of difficult. Like I did a Skep Talk recently with Erica, and it's like by the time we get to super chats, like I kind of feel an expectation that the show is going to be over soonish. And so if they're taking a really long time with super chats, I'm like, dude, guys, I'm fucking ready to leave. You know, like the show doesn't perform as well during the super chats segment, and I'm just like, dudes, Can we keep it moving, please? That's just my little personal complaint. Okay, yes, it's iconic because Forrest not only begged Arden to let another caller in, he actually set a super chat challenge, and then someone donated $500 to call in about the monad. Okay, monad is all. Majora's Casket, welcome to the website chat. Hello. I went to bed with that live stream on and woke up during the night and it was still going. Yeah. I was kind of gloating a little bit because so Skeptalk for me starts at 4 p.m. And so if we do an 8-hour Skeptalk, that's midnight for me, baby. Like, yeah, I obviously like working up to midnight is a pain in the ass. And I'm going to hope that I don't have anything else going on that day. But I usually stay up until midnight. Or I don't know, lately I'm more like last night I fucking started to crash at 11 o'clock. I was really tired last night and I had been drinking and I was just like really symptomatic and done being a fucking wake. But yeah. I lost my number 3 crown. It's all ogre, chat. It's all ogre. My cat just tracks his litter all over my apartment. Oh my god, true. We do that, yes. I need to vacuum more often because of that. It's easy to not... You can't tell on carpet for the most part. The monad is one of those woo-woo, God is everything and nothing all at once, existence itself is God things. Okay, so it's bong rip theology. Apparently the monad has a mathematical basis, something about how the number space between 0 and 1 contains infinity values, therefore God is 1 and there is one God. Oh my fucking god. I would just be like, I don't know what to do with this caller. I don't think that I think I would just make fun of them. I must away. Goodbye, Quantum Chaos. Thanks for chilling. We got 69 likes earlier and now we're at 77. Hell yes. Lux wants to sleep. You heard it here first. Lux is anti-woke. Yeah. I think I didn't realize up until recently, like, my partner's sleep has been disrupted recently, and it's kind of starting to get better now, but he's like, he still feels like he's having to recover from it. Like, a couple of weeks of sleeping weird because of pillow situation, basically. Like, a couple weeks of sleeping weird, and he's like, I'm still recovering. My back hurts. And then I'm like, I sleep like shit every night. Like, and I wake up sore a lot of the time. Like, maybe my back pain isn't as severe, but like, I don't sleep through the night ever. And it's just one of those things where you start thinking, like, man, maybe I should be working on that. Like, I guess I just like, it hadn't occurred to me that it was a problem that could be solved. I'm just like, I sleep badly. Yeah. Or like, you know, if the reason why I'm sleeping badly is because like my partner sometimes ends up fully on my side of the bed. And then it's like, okay. But you can't really do anything about that, right? Except sleep separately, which I don't plan on doing right now. So that's just one of the things. The monad, at least on that particular call, is 100% bong rip. I skimmed a Wikipedia page and it's 3 a.m. Let's be philosophical. Okay. I also don't sleep through the night ever, never have. I feel like it's a thing that happened to me more recently. Like, I feel like when I was younger, I used to sleep better. Oh no. I fucked up my back last Friday and haven't been able to go to the gym for a week. I'm going back tomorrow though, and I'm super psyched. I've missed my endorphins. Yeah, I was getting back into exercise. I was doing it really gently. I was like, we're gonna really gently do some calisthenics. And then I had my period last week and I just was like, I can't fucking do this. Like I'm so symptomatic with my POTS. Just like I can't deal with it. So I guess this week, maybe starting tomorrow, I'm gonna try to ease back into it. This is part of again why I want a bicycle, because I feel like I would just wake up in the morning and go ride my bike and then I will have exercised like functionally cardio and leg day all at once for like an hour. And then literally any other time I need to do errands that are within a mile of my house, I can just like ride my bike. But I miss lifting and I want to get back into lifting. I've just had to be really careful about exercising this year. Like, I guess after my most recent COVID infection last year, like, it's just been a lot harder to exercise and not have a full crash later. The monad is a very useful concept in functional programming, however, and actually makes sense. Okay. Cat's meow is taking off later. I'm psyched that I have so many people here chilling with me today. I'm truly, like, genuinely fucking depressed. I think I may have talked to you about it a little bit the last time I saw you last week. Like, that, and I was kind of glib about it, you know, like, I have been not enjoying playing World of Warcraft or a lot of video games, really. I've just been, like, not wanting to play. And I was, like, talking to my partner about it, and I was like, I just don't want to play. And, like, he was very unhelpful. And then later I was like, oh, this is just me not enjoying something that I normally enjoy. This is just anhedonia. So I've been like depressed mildly for like several weeks or like a month or something. And then it has just reached like a peak this week where I'm like, I don't know. It's like convenient that I've started to wear makeup because I can be like, hey, guess what? I need to make sure I don't cry because I'm wearing makeup. And then I can further compartmentalize my feelings. I do be crying though. Okay, so here's the thing that I've been thinking about. I've been thinking about a couple of different things. As far as like what are the things that make it difficult to be around people? Like where are the challenges coming from in our interpersonal relationships? And part of what I am having to grapple with is the fact that like it is it is outside of my control sometimes and has less to do with me than I think it does. I felt very similar with WoW and any hobbies in general. I've noticed depression has been hitting me for roughly 2 months with how hopeless existence feels, but it is what it is. You endure another day. Fucking true. I feel like I shouldn't be in that frame of mind. But I just like don't want to do anything. I don't want to reach out to people. Like I was searching for the hug emote. That's okay. It makes sense. Um so here's something that I'm thinking about. It's like, okay, I think that we can really screw ourselves by accidentally rewarding things. And we've talked about this recently because we talked about like social anxiety. How you can turn social anxiety into agoraphobia if you repeatedly have situations where you're like, oh my God, I really don't want to go do this social thing. It's like really giving me anxiety and I don't want to do it. And then you just don't go and you're like, oh, I get a sense of relief. And that's how you then increase the likelihood that you will feel that sense of anxiety next time and it will be stronger next time. And I'm just realizing that this applies in like a million billion situations in our lives. And that if we want to have any control over our lives, we will have to consistently work, at least at the beginning. If you want to have any control over your life, you're going to have to consistently do the opposite of what you want to do. And then you will eventually change the way that you feel about things. And then you will be able to do the things that you want to do, right? So it's like, but if you're like, I do want to make friends and be social, but then every time you think, oh, maybe I should send that person a message, you don't do it, you will not ever change that thing about you that you want to change. So I guess part of it is deciding that you want to change, but then, yeah, you have to like basically constantly do the opposite of what you feel like doing in order to ever fix the fact that you don't feel like doing it in the first place. And I'm just realizing that like there are some situations in which we do this interpersonally as well. You know, like So I think about this in terms of jealousy because I struggle with abandonment issues, which manifest themselves sometimes as jealousy, and I've had to work through it in therapy, and I've talked about it in therapy before. So you can, the same way, you can make your jealousy worse by creating reward systems. So, like, if, for example, if you're jealous and you're like suspicious that your partner is doing something and you like look over their shoulder at their phone to see what they're doing, or if you straight up go in and unlock their device and like check what is in there and you don't find anything, that is, you have now created a sense of relief associated with your jealousy, which has now made it more likely that you're going to be suspicious in the future. It feels like logically it should be the other way, right? Like you were suspicious of your partner and you went digging and you didn't find anything. So what you should have is like, oh, that was silly of me, and like I shouldn't suspect them of that in the future, right? But you've just created the reward system for the emotion. So next time you have the emotion of like, next time you'll feel like stressed out and a little bit insecure about yourself, and you'll start spinning up all these things about your partner and how you're suspicious and you're worried and everything. And then you will have the urge again to check on their devices, and the cycle continues, right? And that might be like a kind of obvious, straightforward, like, yeah, okay, you've created a reward for your jealousy by snooping and whatever. Um, but also asking your partner for reassurance when you are jealous and feeling a sense of relief from it, like a sense of relief after you ask for the reassurance, that is also a reward for the jealousy that only increases the likelihood that you will be jealous in the future. So what do you do if you're like, okay, well, I can't physically confirm that my partner isn't cheating by snooping on them, and I can't even ask them for reassurance? Yeah, okay, because what you have to do is actually fucking deal with your own emotions. You know? Like, I have to sit here, and it happened to me recently. I got absolutely spun up into a jealous, like, narrative. And part of what helped me break out of it was that I realized, I was like, hey, one of the diagnostic criteria for the disorder that you've been diagnosed with is stress-induced paranoid ideation. And I'm like, okay, so I'm stressed right now, and I feel really under attack right now. So my brain is like finding something to like retaliate with, or like it's trying to create meaning around the narrative that will make it make sense. And part of that was like I was getting super jealous, and I was like, maybe this is happening, maybe that's happening, maybe this. And I was like, okay, actually though, like this is probably just stress related. But also, if like, and there's a lot of thought process that goes into this because I've been working on this a lot for a long time. I have abandonment issues, and that is my responsibility. It is not my partner's responsibility to reassure me, whatever, or like for me to like ask like, what's the nature of your relationship with this person? Like, that is not fair. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, you know what? Like, it wouldn't make sense for this to be happening, you know. Like, here's some logical reasons why it doesn't make sense, or like, where are these suspicions even coming from? Do I have literally any evidence or reason to believe this? And like, also some things that help me are like, look, if my partner is cheating on me, which like, again, this is just me responding to deeply irrational thoughts that I'm having, like, that's not on my heart, that's on their heart. You know, like if someone is harming me or being deceitful to me or betraying me, like, that's not on my heart. That's for them to carry. And if it all blows up and I have to find out about it, like, it's still not, it doesn't have to be on my heart. Right? Because I didn't do something bad. It's not like there's, and like, I think that that's like a self-blame thing that a lot of people do when they've been betrayed or let down by someone, is they go like, what did I do? Or like, what could I have done? It's like, yeah, in those situations, most of the time it's like, there's nothing you could have done as the partner to avoid the situation. That's the thing. We have to stop viewing other people's behavior as a reflection on us. We cannot cause other people's behavior, you know? And like, the way that other people behave is not necessarily a reflection on us. Like, even if the dynamic isn't like what we hope it would be from either side, like, ultimately, other people are responsible for their feelings, you know? So that's a way in which I have recognized that, like, um, we can sometimes create dynamics with other people, like in the particularly the example of like if I'm jealous and I ask my partner for reassurance and I receive the reassurance and then I feel better, um that is using my partner to regulate my emotions, you know, like I am using them to regulate my emotions. And if it keeps happening, it's kind of an abuse of the relationship. I'm not saying it's abusive, but like it is, you're like using the relationship over and over to fuel like a process where you're like super jealous and you need the reassurance all the time. And the jealousy only gets worse and the need for reassurance only increases. And it's like, so not only are you using your partner to regulate your emotions of your jealousy by asking them for reassurance, but you're also basically subjecting them to your toxic cycle. And, you know, that person is inadvertently feeding like suspicion and cruelty towards themselves, right? Because if I am assuming that my partner is cheating on me, then like there are so many negative assumptions associated with that. Um, you guys may have seen there's like this Tumblr post that goes around every once in a while that goes like, the like girl is trying to explain to her partner, she's like, I just think that, you know, I'm so annoying and like you only tolerate me and humor me and like, you know, you don't actually like me being around and like every time you see my name on your phone, you get like annoyed and roll your eyes. And the boyfriend just goes like, that's really mean, actually. And it's just one of those wake up moments where you realize the negative self talk you have about yourself also implies a lot of really fucked up beliefs about the people around you, and that the people around you don't deserve that. You know, like your partner does not deserve this. Like, you think that they're actually really mean and they don't even really like you and they don't even want to be around you. And like when they do nice things for you, they're lying. Like, that's a really, really unkind way to think of someone who is like in your life voluntarily, you know? And so that is like the other thing about, you know, if I'm jealous all the time of my partner and I'm thinking that they're doing something that they shouldn't be doing and I'm like involving them in that by asking for reassurance all the time, then basically my partner has to continually argue with me to some degree, like now, like I'm flipping perspectives and now I'm imagining being the person who is my partner is like, I just need you to clarify for me that this person, like you're only friends with this person, right? And like you're not, there's nothing else going on. And being on the receiving end of that and being like, what the fuck do you like you think I'm cheating on you? Like, you know that that's really fucked up. Like, I wouldn't do that. Like, because of my past experiences, you should know better. Like, also, we've talked about, how many times have we talked about this now? How many more times am I going to have to hear? Like, how, like, am I going to have to keep telling you over and over again that I love you and that I don't want to cheat on you? And like, you just create a rift in that relationship, right? Where that person is just like, how can you think this of me? How many years have we been together? How can you continue to think this of me? And like, of course, they're probably thinking, like, I've given you reassurance. How many times? Are you going to at some point like believe me and like actually relax and feel confident and comfortable in our relationship? The answer is no. Partially because that person doesn't understand the dynamic that they're stuck in and they keep offering the reassurance. But what you would need to do in that situation is go, "Oh, I am actually fueling my partner's jealousy, and the next time that they ask me for reassurance, I cannot give it to them." You know? So I have recently realized that I am the second person in a different dynamic in one of my close relationships. And I'm like, oh, it's this thing where like this person thinks something about me, or probably about themselves, really. It's probably like an insecurity that they have. And they're talking to me about it. And they're going like, basically asking me for reassurance. Like, I think that maybe you are doing something mean to me. And I need you to tell me that you're not doing something mean to me on purpose. And for me to be like, how many times have we had this fucking conversation? Like, and realizing that I am the one who is offering the reassurance and reinforcing this. So, like, I'm punishing my own self by continuing to respond in this way where I'm like, oh no, like, uh, uh, here's what I actually meant. I'm sorry that that hurt you. I didn't mean to hurt you. Like, what can I do differently in the future? Like, whatever. Like, trying to make amends and trying to say, like, oh no, I don't actually feel whatever. And then the sense of relief and that the relationship eventually goes back to feeling normal. But then the same thing happens again. And you're like, what the fuck? And it's your fault in a way. And so that's just me dealing with that. Where, yeah, like some of my, like, both of my closest relationships right now are like difficult in the same way for different, slightly different reasons, but like difficult in the same way. Where I'm like, I am inadvertently rewarding the people closest to me for thinking of me badly. What does the puzzle piece icon mean? It refers to just like somebody who's notable. Jazz Dog is a music creator, notable in the community. We listen to Jazz Dog music when we're doing the beginning of our stream here. So Jazz Dog is a notable member of the community. That's also why he has a orange name. Thoughts on trial? True. Finding a way to help with activism has been really helpful for me this year. While it's hard for me to get out physically, helping out with organization, development work, communications, and etc. has been the best way for me to help out and not get completely worn out socially. Yeah, I will say that contributing on the line in a greater capacity it's been great for my self-esteem. Like, it's kind of keeping me afloat right now. Mentally. Like, it's a social situation. Like, I get to talk to different people 5 days a week, and it's like really, I think, good for me. And for me to feel like I'm doing well at it and that I'm successful at it, and the streams when I produce perform pretty well, partially because of my actual actions in producing, it definitely feels good. So having that sense of accomplishment, and that is now giving me like a greater sense of confidence so that I can move forward with you know, tweaking things on the channel and everything. Naomi said, sometimes relationships like what you described go both ways, and both parties will have toxic tendencies that feed into each other. Right. It's just about like, so in order to interrupt the process, we have to name it, like we have to name what the feeling is. And yeah, part of this is recognizing like, so yeah, that whole thing, like in that situation of like the boyfriend whose girlfriend thinks that she sucks and is annoying and he's only humoring her, right? Like the boyfriend in that situation, in order to protect themselves from feeling like their value is worse, because that's the thing, is like when people repeatedly think you're cheating on them, or when people repeatedly think that you're screwing with them on purpose and you're not, like you just make mistakes sometimes and they take it personally, like that can sometimes undermine your feeling of value in yourself, because you go, OMG, I'm a terrible employee, or OMG, I'm a terrible partner, or I'm a terrible brother, or whatever. Like you feel like if this person can think that of you, if your partner can assume that you're cheating on them all the time, then like that you think like, I guess I'm a fundamentally untrustworthy person, or like I guess I am not able to do what my partner needs to make them feel safe and secure in our relationship. It reduces your own sense of value of yourself unless you have a really strong, like the boyfriend in the hypothetical, or the situation where the Tumblr post of the girl being like, I think that you hate me. The boyfriend probably is going to feel some sense of like, oh, I need to work harder to show her that I love her, you know? Like I need to step up here. Um and that's partially to prove to the girlfriend that she is loved, and it's partially to prove to himself that he's a good partner. Um and then there's like this oh my god, my eyeballs. Oh no, wait, I can't touch my eyeballs the same way that I normally would. Oh my god. Uh you have to have a strong sense of self that you're like, the fact that my partner is thinking this is not because I am an untrustworthy partner. My partner is thinking this about me because they are insecure, right? And so on the primary end, if you're the jealous person, you have to be like, my jealousy is my responsibility. I am not actually jealous because of anything my partner is doing. I mean, unless there's actual cheating going on, right? But then like that kind of always comes to light whether you're digging around or not. Um yeah, I don't know. I just human beings are complicated and it's really difficult to be in relationships. And like sometimes learning the reasons why people behave the way that they behave doesn't actually help you solve the problem any better. So inadvertently rewarding people for putting you down is something I've never thought about before, and now I wonder if I do that too. Yeah, and the thing is though, the thing that makes it tricky is that the person probably isn't putting you down on purpose. The person probably just is dealing with like an insecurity of their own and is behaving in a way that makes sense in that context. Uh, but yeah, when you try to reassure someone, like, oh no, yeah, I feel like you can do it a little bit, but you need to be aware and maybe communicate with them, like, hey, you know, we've had the same conversation like 3 different times where, you know, you're asking me, uh, this, like, let's say the boyfriend is like, I have a friend who's a female who I've been friends with since I was a little kid. And the girlfriend, they've only been dating for like 6 months. And the girlfriend is like, can you just reassure me that this you don't really feel romantic toward this friend, right? Like it's a totally copacetic, like you've just been friends for a long time, right? Um oh, you're gonna go see her this weekend, but you're gonna be like bowling or something, right? Like you're gonna be out in public. Like, can you assure me that something's not gonna happen? If you do that, like, and you say like, okay, yeah, no, she's just my friend. You understand? Like we've been friends for a long time. I care about you very much. I'm not trying to mess up this relationship by having sex with somebody who I've known since I was 5. Um, you can do that a couple times, right? But if you're finding that you're having the same conversations over and over again, you probably at some point need to be like, hey, we've had this conversation like a few times, and me reassuring you clearly isn't like helping you feel better long term. And like, I can't keep like explaining to you that I'm not trying to have sex with somebody I've known since I was 5. You know, like you need to figure that out at some point and like stop asking for reassurance about it. I don't know that there is a kind way to communicate that to someone, right? To be like, to be basically be like, how do you kindly tell someone, hey, like, I'm sorry, but your feelings are genuinely not my responsibility. And like, I don't want to have to keep helping you feel better about something that, like, in a way you shouldn't be thinking in the first place. Like, the fact that you are taking an interpretation of the behavior that's like the person is cheating on you, that is your feelings are incorrect about the facts moment. And it's just like, how do you bring someone to that realization? This is why everyone should be in therapy, so that I don't have to do their therapy for them. Why does this feel like it's describing so many romance movies, but not in the self aware way you're looking at it, more reinforcing these behaviors? Yeah, because I think that this is one of those ones that, like, probably a lot of people are doing in a lot of situations and they have no fucking clue. Because I didn't know. Like, it was pretty big to me when my therapist pointed out that, like, asking for reassurance from my partner would reinforce my jealousy. Like, would make it more likely for it to happen again. It's probably like one of the biggest things I've carried away from that. God, shout out to Amy. She genuinely changed my life and continues to change my life. And like, I miss her so bad. She quit her job suddenly. And so I didn't get like proper like, okay, we're winding down our relationship. She just quit her job. It was like my mom died. It was the worst week. Gonna have to get new water here in a minute. Systemic error suggests hacking your brain by creating a reward system going, is my partner getting hotter? My partner is getting hotter, right? And then you go check. And then, yep, they are getting hotter. You've been rewarded, encouraged. Wins all around. Truly. My therapist up and fucked off too. First decent one after like 5 tries. Yeah, I think my therapist, like, her disability was just getting worse. So, like, technically she had like 6 weeks of FMLA and then quit her job. At the end of the 6 weeks, she was like, I don't think I can come back. So I was expecting it to be like a month or two of not seeing her and then she would be back. And so she then quit her job and I was like, wow, I'm going to cry. Not everyone needs to be in therapy, not literally. Almost everyone could benefit from therapy, but only if you actually need it, if that makes sense. Okay, so what I'm going to advocate for here is that I think that, okay, when I say everyone needs to be in therapy, what I mean is like, in order for society to be a good place to live, everybody has to be in therapy. Like, everybody needs to possess the same basic emotional skills. We will not go forward as a society if we're like, some people are pretty stable and therefore don't need therapy. It's like, well, they're also like not communicating very fucking clearly and they, like maybe are not causing like huge issues, but like they do cause communication problems on a regular basis. Like, would we even have as much corporate greed as we have if we were teaching people basic empathy skills? Like, I think society needs for everyone to be in therapy, is kind of what I mean by that. Also, if basic emotional health stuff was taught in grade school, that would be cool. Yeah, no shit. Like, yeah. Does everyone need to be in therapy if we just, like, gentle parent everybody? But the problem is then that, like, in schools, you can only control so much. The parents are still going to do whatever at home. Ugh, my neck is so stiff and sore today. They look stable until they don't. Sorry. Yeah, I guess so. Wisdom of the Forgotten, welcome in. I am pretty depressed right now, but it's like weird because like everything in my life is okay. I will say I am usually fortunate enough to have like one central thing in my life that is okay at any given time. So like maybe my job sucks, but usually my personal life is going okay during that time. But then like my personal life goes to shit, and then I feel like more successful in my job. So at least it kind of switches off a little bit there. Mephi says, I think that seeing a therapist at least once a month is just good for keeping up your mental and emotional health. People have no problem accepting that physically healthy people are that way because they work at it, but apply the same thing to mental health and folks think you're unhealthy. It's like saying muscular people don't need to go to the gym. Muscular people are muscular because they go to the gym. Yeah, like emotionally it's like, oh, emotionally healthy people don't need to go to the therapist, but the people are emotionally healthy because they've been to therapy. Yeah. Faulty Branches advocates if we had actual social communications skills courses in school instead of just public presentation getting us ready for corporate work, we wouldn't really need to rely on therapy to learn these skills. Some folks can work with some friends to shore up that lack of skill, but I do think our current populace could all benefit from at least a short stint with a therapist. Yeah. Yes, I want to be emotionally muscular. I want to be physically muscular too. I'm just struggling with physical behavior right now, like physical activity. Um, oh man, I do think so. You guys know I have a standing sitting desk. I stand for live streams for the most part, and I have been starting out sitting while I'm doing production. But I actually think that maybe I'll try to go back and forth a little bit. While I'm standing doing production, because I've done that once or twice, I end up like, because it's really, there are like down times when it's boring, and I'll just sit here and start dancing, which like I can't really do on stream because it's just too much motion. And I'm also not bored on stream in the same way that I get bored during production. So like maybe that's what I need. I'll just incorporating more activity and action in the like regular life things that you're doing. Yeah. CBT helps me overcome my perfectionism in music, and I've been great. Turns out if you set too high of standards, you can never make anything, but if your standards are lower, it opens the door for making music, and sometimes your work will exceed your own expectations. Yeah, I personally like violently do not like CBT, but that's I think just doesn't work for me. Like I did DBT. I am diagnosed with borderline, so DBT was recommended to me and it's what worked for me really well, and I just feel like CBT, I don't know why, but I just feel like I hate it. I know that it's evidence-based practice and it works for lots of people. I've always thought about a standing desk, but I always thought I wouldn't be able to type as well. So the way that I did this is like, so when you're typing, your elbows should actually be like at like fairly close to a 90-degree angle. So if your shoulders are like relaxed and you're in your typing position, your elbows should be at about a 90-degree angle. And therefore, I adjusted my sitting and standing height to be at that exact level so that I can type the same regardless. Like the desk is in the same relative position to my shoulders. Certain therapies are explicitly incompatible with certain personalities. I think that's actually borne out in data. Yeah, that would not surprise me. I just, man, CBT just feels like gaslighting to me. I think I did see a therapist for a while who was like primarily CBT trained, but she understood that I was from a DBT background and she was kind of like adaptable to help me, think of it in those terms. I live in Massachusetts. If woke was a US state, that's so true. Good gracious. Okay, my throat is dry, so I'm gonna go run and get some water. Since it's about the 2 hour mark, I'll go ahead and do my 2 hour midstream break. Um, let's listen to some chilled out jazz dog tunes while we're gone, okay? I'll be right back in a minute. See you soon. Don't go anywhere or I will cry. Music is overtime. Jump scare. Hello. I decided I was not going to let 8 minutes of music play before I came back. But, yeah, sorry. Okay, listen. Okay, just Jazz Dog to contextualize this. Okay, so we play Jazz Dog music while I'm gone and while we're waiting for stream to start. But the Jazz Dog music that I have chosen is, first of all, I was like, I just want to buy one album. Boom. I just bought the whole album. Play all the songs. Cool, great. But also, like, I love chiptune. Actually, I like chiptune a lot. Like, okay, I woke up this morning with a song stuck in my head. Um, it's a cover. So there's this band called I Fight Dragons, and I really like them a lot. My hair looks wet, but it's just greasy. Isn't that horrible? I should have washed my hair this morning. Anyway, I woke up with a song stuck in my head. It's by I Fight Dragons. They do a lot of chiptune music, and also they fully are aware that it's like their old music is the stuff that people like, or I guess the whole discography, you know. But I'm like, songs from more than 10 years ago, they played mostly songs from more than 10 years ago at their concert that I went to 2 years ago. So yeah, I woke up with a song stuck in my head that's a cover of, what the fuck is the name name of the song? I can't think of it now, of course. Oh my god. And there's a different song by them that's kind of similar that is stuck in my head now. What the fuck? It's a cover of a John Mayer song. Heart of Life is what it's called. But I know the heart of life is good. And it's got stuck in my head this morning. Luxander's hair looks not greasy and quite normal. Thank you. Appreciate that. Can I show a more recent chiptune song? Yeah, absolutely. Later, Meffy. Have a good one. Yeah, the album is called Forgotten Tunes because it's super old work. Yeah, that's got to be really awkward for someone to be like, I super appreciate this work that you did when you were in high school. It's got to be quite strange. Okay, new music. We're listening now. Yeah, tunes to chill / fight capitalism too. Feels like a level of Mario Kart. Does that make sense? I wrote this when Deltarune Chapter 1 came out. Okay. Yeah, that was good. I enjoyed that. That was very danceable. Good stuff. How make Money Bar grow? The best way to make Money Bar grow is to make a direct donation at luxander.net/donate. PayPal handles that whole thing. So if you want to make Money Bar grow, we got to our first goal, which was to open the treasure chest, and we found my voodoo doll with no eyes in the treasure chest. We found him. And then we will bring in the boy if we get another. I was like, I don't know what to put for the next donation. I haven't flexed in a while. We could flex instead of getting the boy if we get to the next donation goal, I guess. Okay, that would work. A playlist of chiptune and chiptune adjacent songs for you on YouTube. Yes. That's fun. I still might end up buying music from you because I like, sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm in a different mood today. Like, okay, the first video, the first live stream that I had when I got back after Charlie Kirk was murdered, I was like playing like some of your music that sounds more like boss battle music because I had just come back from vacation. So I'd come back from vacation and we were going to talk about Charlie Kirk. And so I was like, let's play boss music. But sometimes I'm in more of a relaxed mood and I'll pick like 2 more chill songs to like ease people into a different kind of vibe, which I think is kind of what I did today. Today we had maybe just more general vibes. Was gonna say a level on Sonic. Ooh. Yes, we appreciate. I think that this is not the genre of music that Jazz Dog makes so much anymore. Even this video was uploaded 3 years ago. So, uh, I'm just a simple bitch who likes chiptune. I wonder if I could play a little bit of this song that I had stuck in my head. Like, just to get the, here's the chiptune sound. Like, okay, I'm just gonna do a little bit of it. Just gonna do a little bit of it. Anyway, I'll stop there. That's probably copyrighted by somebody. It's a live cover. And like I think the only video I was able to find is the one from I Fight Dragons is on their channel. I prefer to listen to it on a different video, I guess, or I just clicked the wrong video maybe. Okay, we have another Jazz Dog to listen to. We're doing music right now. That's fun. I have to at least be able to dance to music, if not sing to it. So if I can't sing to it, I better be able to dance to it. I like when you can tell the music is about to do something. I was like, I could tell something fun's about to happen. Watching me dance stream. Drink water during this moment, you know? Oh, nope. That was an accident. Sorry. Why are we freaking out? Are we freaking out? That's fun. That's good music. That's good music right there. Heck yes. Dally says 4 rows left on my current knitting project. Ooh, I love that. Here's where I am on this right now. If anybody's curious, I am in the middle of making a dress right now. I honestly am like, I really wish that the neckline was lower, but that's what I get for making a dress that's like fucking exactly the same on the front and the back. Whoa. So this is how far along this has come now. It's gonna like fit like that kind of. So it's gonna end up being a bit longer, and it's gonna have a lacy kind of bottom. So hopefully I'm not ripping out. Oh no, I'm not ripping out any stitches. So yeah, this dress that I'm making, it's kind of lesbian flag colors a little bit, honestly. One more song and then I'll quit the self promo. Okay, one more song. I'll tolerate one more song. I want to learn to crochet. It's a lot of fun and there's lots of tutorials on YouTube about it. Also, somebody said something in chat earlier. I am a non-binary. I'm not a trans woman. I'm a non-binary. I know it's confusing sometimes, but
Systemic has donated $100. The chiptune really made this feel urgent.
oh my goodness. Okay, well, thank you, Jiminy Christmas. Y'all, sometimes I just don't know how to react. Again, with the big donations. Thank you. That's very generous of you. My cat is sleeping on my bed, so I will go ruin his world. I will go ruin his day. Look at that. $200. $200 Renos. Number go up. Thank you guys for being so generous today. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hitting the like button and all that. But especially the financial resources are not going to be missed. The boy. Hell yeah, dude. You know what would be great is if I could start saving up for the fucking taxes that I'm gonna. Oh, I'm actually gonna get an accountant. So thank you for donating money. That's gonna help me get an accountant so that hopefully I do not owe $3,000 in taxes next year. Let's see if an accountant can help me fix that problem. Okay, Jazz Dog song. I'm gonna just tee that up, but I'm gonna go get the boy because you asked for the boy. Oh no. Oh no. I've just seen what this is. Okay, I'll be right back. The boy. The boy. The boy. He's such a big boy. Hello. He says, please put me down. Please put me down. He says, I'm so sad. Please put me down. Are you a good boy? The boy. He's a sweet baby. Are you a baby? Are you the sweetest baby? Oh, that's uncomfortable. Okay, there you go. Is that better? Yeah, I put on a new pop filter. New pop filter. Probably less gross. Let that child alone. No, I will not. He's like, why? Why are you doing this to me? Because I love you, and so does everybody else. I'm getting to a point with this whole considering another cat thing where it might just be like, where I'm just telling my partner, like, hey, if you want to come with me to the Humane Society, I'm gonna go donate. I'm gonna go not donate a cat. I'm going to I'm gonna go adopt a cat, and you can be there if you want, but my cat. That's the problem, though. You can't do that if you're like, this is my cat. Then they end up liking the other person more, and then you're just the spare person. What a boy. Where is your hand? Oh, it's why is it down there? Why is your hand all the way down there? Yeah, reverse donate. Adopt. Oh, you huff and puff at me, Mr. Boy. I know you're a good baby. I don't know if I can impart to you how much his face is smushed into my face right now. Okay, you done? Okay, bye. I love you. I love you. He's terrible. Anyway, thank you so much for the donations. Appreciate y'all. Yes, he is a good boy. I requested and got a cat when I was 7. I ended up being the main human and everyone else was the spare. Lucky! Okay, we're listening to a song called The Cum Preacher from Jazz Dog.
Come, found over 1,700 times in the Word of God where this word is used, come, and that's not coming, the rest of the comes, but that's just come on. Preaching my heart out for 45 minutes to an hour on that one word, come. And it was one of our Lord's favorite words. Come unto me, come and drink, come and dine. Jesus said, come, come. And it goes on and 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 on.
Yeah.
Favorite words. Come unto me. Come and drink. Come and dine. Jesus said, come. And it goes on and 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 on. That word come is universal in its application. Come. What did Jesus say to his disciples? Come. There's no room for discussion, friend. Guess what? Come. Come. It commands obedience. Come.
True.
How many of you have the Holy Ghost come in you? He was crucified for you. He died for you. He did everything for you. It's time for you to... Oh! On that one word, come. And it was one of our Lord's favorite words. Come unto me. Come and drink. Come and dine. Jesus said, come. And it goes on and 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 on.
True. Nope, this one. No, do not play Chapel Roan. Stop it. Well, that was fun. It takes a lack of sanity to create this. Yeah, what was going on in your life? Yeah, wow, that's very funny. Are you back? Are you in here? Hi. Meow. Are you here for more? You want more? Are you baby? Mr. Baby? He's doing that thing where he's like rubbing against everything that's not organic. Fun fact, I made that in a single session one day. Nice. How many hours? Hey, baby. Hey, baby. I'm gonna do it again. Can I do it again? I'm gonna do it again. Yeah? I did it again! Hello, baby. Yeah? I did it again. I love you. You're so good. Yeah, he's like, this mine? This mine? This mine? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He's such a good baby. Gotta get your kitty fuzz therapy sometime. Mm, that's a very tolerant cat. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just kind of what he is. I didn't train him to be that. He just is. I mean, I don't know. I guess we did kind of slowly condition him to be more and more okay with being picked up because he doesn't really like it. Uh, and actually, like, basically, I've taught him that the way that he asks me to put him down is by rubbing his head against my head. So we end up in these situations where he'll keep doing it. Like, oh, are you going to put me down now? Because a lot of the time when I'm not on stream, if I pick him up and I love on him and he rubs his head on my face, then I put him down immediately. Um, so, anyway. But like, I I don't know. I guess he's just never been that determined. I think maybe if he was really determined, he could potentially like hurt one or both of us trying to get down. But yeah, I don't know. He's always been a really chill boy. Chill baby. Mr. Baby. We are very close to getting 100 likes today. What I'm really looking forward to is getting to a place with these streams where um we can casually get like a couple hundred viewers. Like we never got casually like a couple hundred viewers as a political stream. And so it's asking a lot to be like, for our just hanging out streams, can we get to a casual couple hundred viewers? Like, I would be basically set, I think, if I was doing the line and my production and this was casually getting like a couple hundred viewers each stream. I think that would basically be like a perfect situation. I don't need to be Hassan Piker. I don't need like a million fucking subscribers to be just like functional as a human person and like make enough money. Oh yeah, BE Rhodes in the YouTube chat says of Jazz Dog's most recent song that we listened to, The Come Preacher, said if real church was like this, I might still be religious. True. El Gato Negro. True. Why was the Spanish cat in a rush? He got to go. Ha! That was a good one. Black Kitty. Are you Black Kitty? Now he's laying down there. He's like, I'm gonna chill in here now. Well, your most recent song that we played, I meant. Like, sorry, the most recent of the 3 songs that we played of yours. This is from 9 months ago, not the most recent song you've ever created. The most recent is called Battle Against a Rat Man. What the fuck? I love that you can just give things weird titles. I mean, you do, if you do mostly instrumentals, then like, also it's an inside joke in Riverboat Jack's community. Okay, that makes sense. Oh my god, my voice is really sore. I feel like my voice is really sore already and it's only been an hour and a half. Ooh. The Rat Man, Battle Against a Rat Man has Jazz Dog's actual voice in it doing a rap. That's fun. The Rat Man cometh. Are you a good boy? He's purring really loud. I'm sad that you can't hear him. I'll have to get one of those teeny tiny little microphones like this that the TikTokers use and like put it up right to his face and get the purrs. Get the up close ASMR of him rubbing up against the microphone. Battle Against a Rat Man is about New York City mayoral Republican candidate Curtis Sliwa fighting rat men in the sewers. Okay, that's fun. I like that music can be a form of shitposting political posts, which is not really something that I had thought about until I started seeing Jazz Dog's music, I guess. But I don't like listen to music very actively, so I can see why that was just like something I missed. Put the microphone on a collar so we get his commentary. True. He doesn't wear a collar, though. I don't really know how he would handle that. Does it feel like this is the biggest New York mayoral race ever? Like, in terms of it being of national concern. Like, why do I care about the mayor of New York? I have literally never never, ever, ever cared about the mayor of New York. I mean, like, I know who it is sometimes, but like, why do we care? Um, it feels like this is the biggest mayoral race in the history of New York City in terms of it just getting so much national attention. My current work in progress is another Riverboat Jack inside joke about a corrupt CEO who has a monopoly on water. His name is Jim Water. Oh. Why has it become so commonplace for people to hold mic clips like that? Uh, okay, so I can refer you to a Tom Nicholas video. So Tom Nicholas has this whole video called Why YouTubers Hold Microphones Now, and it's an hour long, and you should go watch it. And it basically says, like, I mean, like the message that I pulled away from it was like, it's a type of, there's like an evolution of authenticity on social media where like, Lindsay Ellis also has a really good video about this kind of related topic where she was watching some cake making show on YouTube that gradually started to have more and more commentary from the crew off camera. So it's like the, I don't know, the more casual you can make it feel, like the more people feel they connect to it in a parasocial way, which then gets you more money. Like, it's to manufacture, it's to help curate an image that you are just some person effectively. You can see I have made a creative decision to have a very professional microphone. And if anything, like, I switched out the pop screen on it this week in a way that makes it look even more like a professional mic. I was thinking about switching to this guy, but I use this for work and it actually is a lower sound quality, and I don't think that I can handle making that exchange. I think all of my stream hosting, or sorry, yeah, my stream and hosting stuff is going to have to continue to be on this microphone just because, like, my personal standards for audio are super high. But yeah, when I'm doing my chaotic movie reviews, I unscrew this and I take this off and I hold it, but I'm then holding a professional microphone in my hand like a crazy person. But it's because I want to have the option to move around a lot without compromising the sound quality. And like, if I want to deliberately choose, and I did do this in my True Blood video, is like, I can also choose to pull the microphone away for dramatic effect, or like if I want to say something loud and I don't want to blow out the microphone, I can just like pull back and talk louder. Please don't downgrade your sound quality. It's not a huge difference, but it would be a downgrade, and I am not going to. I was like considering doing it. I might have to. I'm gonna tell Jimmy, like, I had him buy me a camera or a microphone stand so that I could use this for hosting and producing and everything on a thing, because I don't really like this stand that it's on. This like shitty little, I don't know, it sucks and it takes up space, but I don't know if I'm going to put it on an arm or not. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to put it on its own little arm. Jazz Dog says, I do make music shit posts, but I have a giant work in progress song in the works. A song that, yeah, he's asked me if I would potentially submit some voice work for. It's both a serious and satire song. Listen, I'm excited. It's going to be good. Just busy AF right now and depressed AF, which makes it hard to do work and respond to messages and stuff. Like, we're supposed to watch Hereditary for the podcast tomorrow, and I still haven't watched it. When we first started this podcast, I would watch whatever thing we were doing for the podcast. I would watch it like 3 different times and like take all these notes. And I've just gradually stopped doing nearly as much work on that because it is a lot of work. And I don't really like horror movies, so that's kind of, I haven't really felt particularly incentivized to watch Hereditary. I tried to watch it once and it just didn't want to load. So that was, it's pretty easy to dissuade me. OMG Hereditary's soundtrack is a masterpiece. Ooh, I'll try to pay attention to that. I listen with studio monitors and can hear the changes. YouTube compression is trash, but even with that, the difference between your current and that one, which looks like the one that many other line hosts use, will be very noticeable. See, that's how I feel. I agree. I edit and everything with headphones on, so I can tell the difference. And yes, this is the one that the line hosts all use. So, but it's connected to my work computer, my office computer, so that I can talk to people as producer. Like my God voice comes through this microphone and not my primary beautiful microphone. True. Grace Van Pelt says fuck Trump. True. True. What a little weird guy. Why are you so weird? Okay, bye. Can I send you a meme after you watch Hereditary and have the context for the joke? Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I'm supposed to watch it tonight. I don't know. We'll see. It's like either tonight or tomorrow morning. I have to wake up super fucking early and deal with it then. What else is going on? I think that I am running out of things to talk about all of a sudden. I went for a walk this weekend. That was pretty nice. I went to a park that I've been meaning to go to for a while. I think I may have mentioned on Thursday I was planning on going to a waterfall park, but I did not go to that one. I went to a different park and just walked around and enjoyed like a pretty easy, mostly paved trail. It was fun, though. It was good. I saw a great blue heron. I was like, that's a big fucking bird, isn't it? I just like, what is that? Is it a big fucking bird? Here's the link. Save it somewhere for later. Okay, opening the link, saving it for later. You know the answer. Shut up. Okay, I'm saving it for later. Is somebody malding in my YouTube chat? What is going on? What was I saying? I was saying something. Blue herons. Yeah. Yeah, so I saw a bird that was like gray and it was like, dude, in the YouTube chat, can you calm down? Who the fuck said anything about you? Anyway, I was walking at the park and I think that part of the thing about the West Coast is that it has a lot more wetlands than you think it does. Like it has, so this park had like some marshy kind of wet areas. And I saw a bird that was like, I don't know. I was like, it's just a big gray blob, and I couldn't figure out what the fuck was going on. And then I realized, oh yeah, it's kind of like a crane, but it was like tucked up. It was like tucked in. His neck was like tucked in. So he just looked like a gray blob. But I think it was a big fucking bird. Yes, I do enjoy that. Jazz Dog says, funny thing is, even if I tried to be transphobic, Lux is so non-binary, I don't even know its gender assigned at birth, and I don't need to know. See? Yeah. People get confused a lot. You know, and that's fine. That's like the great thing about being non-binary is like people can't tell. I'm not like hiding it. I'm pretty open about it. I talk about this shit all the time. I'll be like, yeah, I have specifically dysphoria because of this, or like, I had to go to the doctor because of this. Like, I don't know. It's like not a secret, but I do enjoy that it can be a secret. It could be a secret if I wanted it to be. Leah Lond, welcome in. Oh, we reached 100 likes. Thank you, everybody. I really like getting lots of likes. That makes me happy when number go up. Number go up. Brr. Also, at this park, there were a bunch of apple trees. I was like, wait, I don't know if they were planted there on purpose or if it was like somebody just threw an apple into the woods, but there were like trees with like a shit ton of apples on them. I was like, what? Can you take them? That's the question. I know different parks have different rules. There was a park back where I used to live that was like it was a nature preserve, so you're not allowed to take anything. If you find a cool rock, okay, cool, that sucks. If you find a mushroom, cool, that sucks. Leave it there. Do not take anything. Um and crab apples or I think that they were like regular, they were relatively small, but I think that they were like regular apples. Or maybe like baking apples, like the small ones can sometimes be a little bit tart. On one hand, red pill conservative misogynists are there, but on the other hand, misandrists are rising. Do you think we should address both the issues if we want to form a fair and just society? Um, uh, wait, what do you mean about misandrists are rising? I think that there's a lot of evidence that there is a red pill conservative misogyny. Like, yes, I'm seeing that, like, not only between individuals, but I'm also seeing those beliefs being platformed. Red pill conservative misogyny runs this country right now in America. I don't know what you mean when you're saying on the other hand, misandrists are rising. Like, what is the equivalent societal like force behind misandry that is rising? Because I seem to have missed that. You can't even take a chill rock. I know, right? Yeah, like at certain, it was at there was a particular protected wetlands back in Kansas that was like, yeah, you can't take anything from here. It's a nature preserve. Yeah, random kids asking if you're a boy or a girl. Ah, yes, passing. We are all skeletons in a meat bag hurtling towards destruction equals truly. Yeah. There's a couple people in the YouTube chat who I think might be new here, so welcome in. If you are new, then thanks for coming to hang out. You hit the subscribe button in order to chat in here, so thank you for subscribing. And I appreciate you. You can hit the like button, that also helps the stream get to more people. We're just hanging out and chilling for usually for another hour and a half. I love folk who use its pronouns. It sounds otherworldly, like an entity or phenomenon. True. See? Yes, you get it. Malus fuchsia. The common names Oregon crabapple and Pacific crabapple is a species of crabapple native to western North America. How big are its fruit? Oh no, they were like fully like how do I describe how big the apples were? We saw ones on the ground, they were like that big. Like I would say an apple from the store, I would expect an apple from the store to be about this big. And the apples we saw at the park were about this big. So they were about like similar size. I mean like similar enough to be like that's probably like a real apple, you know. Not these little like droop hanging crab apple things, because these are only like that big, right? They're little. Yeah, we're talking apples. I went for a walk at a public park recently, and there were apple trees growing and like dropping fruit on the ground, and I was like, are we allowed to take them, like, or not? Because some places say you're not allowed to take any food or whatever from them. Non-binary Canadian, nice to meet you. Hello, welcome in. Soma, are you still here? Did you come here to get a response to your question? Because I asked you a follow-up question about misandry. Do you have a follow-up, or did you just come here to comment that and then leave? I'm not new, but I rarely manage to catch these streams live. I try to be consistent. As it's not a schedule that works for everybody, and I don't do random streams at any other time. So sorry. Maybe that would be helpful. Maybe I should occasionally be like, "What's up?" It's I don't know what are the time slots that I am really missing out on. I guess I'm always here in kind of the early afternoon, sometimes into the early evening. So maybe I should do one super late at night one time, or I guess that's kind of the only times. Like, I guess I could wake up at 6 a.m. and do one, but I don't want to kill myself, so. Ooh, one of my favorite tea blends is black tea and baked apples. What? Oh, so I have a bunch of those pears. I went and did like a fruit collecting thing. Um, and uh I have just like literally like a fuck ton of pears. And I think the first small batch I'm going to dehydrate and make like dehydrated pear pieces. And then the rest of it, I was gonna basically learn how to do canning, like hot water bath canning. Indeed, Shakespeare. Yay, Sunday stream. Just finished my errands and chores. Time to sit down, listen to a trans streamer, and take my estradiol. Love taking HRT while listening to trans streamers. Just feels like the right time. Agree. I think that makes perfect sense. Oh my god, who is talking to me? I do have to actually pay attention to my phone closer now because I get texts and stuff for production on the line. So I do have to pay a lot more attention to my phone than I usually would. There we go. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy is going on there. So that was actually not the question that I asked Soma. I did have a very specific question. I'll read what you wrote. Misandrist equals a person who hates men as a group. They believe all men oppress or try to oppress women, whereas many good guys with minimum wage jobs get harmed. Okay, so when you say the red pill conservative misogyny, to me that looks like currently our country is run by a group of men who hate and devalue women, who do not think women deserve to be in leadership roles, who are actively taking women out of leadership roles. They're removing women from positions of authority, they're removing them from the military. So right now, the conservative ideology, and it's also very dominant in the culture. Some of the biggest and most popular podcasts who have the biggest reach and who are speaking directly to the men in this country basically preach hatred toward women. And women have just lost some pretty significant rights. Like they've lost the right to abortion. Women are dying because of that already. Women are regularly dying from misogynistic hate by being murdered, and by being denied health care for essential female services or whatever you want to say. So that is what conservative misogyny looks like. My question to you, Soma, is when you're talking about like, oh, misandry is on the rise, what is the political equivalent of that? Like, are women in positions of power denying men the right to bodily autonomy? Are they firing men from positions of power? Are they creating like laws and policies which ensure that men will not be able to access health care that they specifically need? Or, are there a bunch of super popular, podcasts that are influential on millions of viewers that are saying that like men don't deserve rights and that they only exist for the pleasure of women? Like that, I don't know that you could demonstrate an equivalent level of like power of misandry in society as power of misogyny in society. So I think that what you're doing is kind of a bad faith false equivalence. And I just wanted to address that. Fat Knight says usually when people talk about misandry, what they actually mean is bioessentialism. Usually those kinds of people are more aligned with patriarchy than against it on the whole. And either that or they're overreacting to a joke. Maybe. That feel when systemic summaries have exceptions because it's basically how any population works. True. I bought the Communist Manifesto partially because I wanted to piss off the people who do inspections here and also security, but I also wanted to read it. Yeah. Yeah. I bought a little miniature copy of the Communist Manifesto. I bought it because it's like adorable. I don't know why. It just feels like hilarious and adorable to me that this is like the entire Communist Manifesto exists in this little book. You know? And I do want to read it, I guess. I haven't done it yet. It's, you know. But listen, isn't that so fucking cute? Ridiculous. That's literally the majority of the reason why I bought it. I was like, oh, it's a cute little, it's just, yeah, it's like the juxtaposition. Oh my God. So speaking of the juxtaposition, I recently, I was talking about, we were talking about metal. I was talking with my younger sibling about music, metal music. And I was like, the only metal I really like to listen to is Doom soundtrack. And then I was like, we were eating dinner and we were wrapping up dinner. And I was like, I just want to play some like Doom music. And a video showed up on my timeline that was like it was a slug or a snail eating something on a time lapse with Doom music over it. And it was fucking hilarious. And I loved it. And I think it's because of the juxtaposition of like a cute, innocent thing happening with like this demon destroying metal in the background. It was very fun. Excuse me. Baby metal, K-pop singing, but metal music. It's amazing. Also, I am in season 4 of Attack on Titan. Oh my fucking god, it gets crazy, dude. And the beginning intro song in the second half of the 4th season is a metal song. But it's weird. It flips back and forth between the singing that I associate with like Japanese boy bands, but then it's like, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That's fun. It's exciting. I'm feminist because I hear the arguments and they sound really simple to understand. Like, you're saying a gender which has been portrayed as weaker and dependent face bias when considered for leadership positions? Right, isn't that crazy? What a crazy concept. My first political book was in my high school Republican phase, and it was what made me realize how awful conservatives are. Yeah, just reading Ayn Rand and you're like, oh no. Shakespeare says, I am a poet working on my first book. One page is mostly blank with a single rose and a single line. The line is, misandry comes easy to me. I really wanted to write a longer poem, but that line really covered everything I wanted to say. That's funny. The book I read was called Black Lives Matter, and I stopped reading as soon as they had a visual photoshopping the leader of the Black Lives Matter organization onto a literal chimpanzee. Ooh, that's so bad. My favorite variation of this was Angela Collier reading and loving Atlas Shrugged because she thought it was hilarious satire. No. Oh, that's so funny. Do you like AC/DC? I don't care. Like, most of the time, the answer to the question, do you like music, is no. So, sometimes a little bit. I'm trying to like music more. Mostly, I don't. I was mainly saying individual common man-hating woman for BS reason, misogyny, and common woman-hating men for no reason, not talking about politically. I just find it really difficult to care about that kind of thing. I mean, like, of course, I talk about all kinds of stuff related to, like, how we can improve our communication and have better relationships and stuff. And, like, yes, of course, I think people would benefit from having a better understanding of themselves and a better understanding of what their partners are doing. But also, like, we are very much being pitted against one another. And like, frankly, I don't know what women are supposed to do in a culture where men, like literally men have entire careers teaching other men to hate women. And they are very popular individuals. They have a large following. So I don't know what women are supposed to do if there is a huge cultural presence, not only with the men that they're trying to date, but with everything else in society. But like, probably they feel it most painfully from the men that they date. Like, this is why you can't really truly separate. And I'm sorry, Soma, you're getting a huge fucking info dump here. You can't truly separate what happens between two individuals from what society looks like and what society is doing. So long as Andrew Tates and people like that have influence in societies, the Andrew Tates of the world are hurting the men who listen to them, and they're hurting the women who interact with those men. So, like, when men are hateful towards women, that's not, like, women's fault. That is a culture of hatred towards women, right? So when women respond to that culture by going, yeah, fuck men. I don't date men anymore. Like, I don't want to talk to men. I don't want to listen to men's opinions. Like, you can understand that that is a reaction and that is not an equal problem. Like, these are not equal. Women responding to a society that hates them and men who are trying to fuck them who actually hate them at the same time. Like, can you imagine being on the receiving end of that, as to be a woman or to be any person who, like, regularly has to deal with people who genuinely seem to hate you, think that you are stupid and incompetent, and want to objectify you. They desire you as a sex object, but the moment you talk, they start being shitty to you. You know what I mean? Like, what would that do to you psychologically? Would you be like, I'm excited to be around men? Would you be like, I understand where men are coming from? No, you probably wouldn't. Trex says you can't really have non-political misogyny or misandry for that matter. Like, if you genuinely gave a shit about men hating, you would realize that patriarchy is by design horrible to men, even if it benefits cis men more than anyone else. Sure, yeah. I mean, yeah, like patriarchy and capitalism, sure. Shakespeare says, I am done with men overall. It's understandable. Dally has finished a knitting project. Congratulations. Oh, I firmly reject the idea that non-binary people are in a subcategory under woman. Violently not cool with that description. Of course, it's not women's fault. As I said, misogyny is an issue, but if you say all men bad, that will only divide the both gender. Well, okay, but like, okay, so maybe, are you just taking a joke way too seriously? Like, I think it's normal and okay if a woman has had back to back to back experiences with men treating her poorly, for her to occasionally go like, ugh, men suck. Like, who fucking cares? I do not care about that. If you're putting the responsibility for healing the gender divide on women, that's victim blaming. And you probably don't mean it to be that, so I'm just explaining it to you straight. Like, I'm just trying to be as straightforward as possible. If you think that women should be the ones to make the first olive branch, or like if you're focusing on women's behavior and not focusing on men's behavior, ultimately what you're doing is just perpetuating a society that holds women to a higher standard than men. Like, I'm not saying that it is never ever a problem for women to be shitty to men. My mother was abusive to my father, physically abusive, to be clear. Um, and she pushed him to a point where he became violent, and like, but she was definitely the one egging everything on. Um, and she was the one who started the violence and everything. So like, I'm not saying that it's not possible, but I am saying that like focusing on the women's part of the equation in terms of like saying who should be doing something better or different. Yeah, if you're focusing on women in the gender wars conversation, then you are focusing on the wrong group of people. Being a trans woman is really bizarre and scary, that the people who want to most fetishize and fuck you are the same people most likely to randomly kill you in a crime of passion. I mean, it's also true for women, like for non-trans women. Um, but it's definitely heightened in a way with trans women, where there's like a definitely like an additional layer. But yeah, both groups are definitely subject to the same kind of like weird, putting in that weird position where like the people who denigrate you the most, who speak the worst about you, also desire you and desire to possess you in a way, you know? Yeah, what if we took the thing that is explicitly not part of category A or B and just forced it into category A or B? Soma, I wonder if maybe you're the kind of person who would benefit from calling me on one of like maybe on Calling It Now next week. If you should like subscribe to the Jimmy Snow channel, and I'm gonna be taking live calls next week on Thursday. But like this question of like if you had some bad experience with a black man, it's not fair to say all black men are criminals, is it not? Like of course, but there's not an equivalent. Like when a woman has something bad happen to her, like if a woman is raped, I don't think I've ever seen a woman come out on the other side of a rape saying all men are rapists. So like you're creating a false equivalency. Obviously, no, like women, and maybe if one or two women are saying that, that doesn't represent, that doesn't change anything about what I said, which is that women are reacting to a situation. And if you focus on women's behavior, you are just perpetuating a society that holds women to a higher standard. Faulty Branches says this is the same issue as blaming humanity for an abusive relationship created by so-called gods. The person being abused is not enacting the abuse. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, Jazz Dog, like, I think you're speaking at this as like a cis guy, right? Like, I just don't care about the men are assholes kind of statements. Yeah. If a woman has a series of bad situations with men and she says, like, to vent, she says, like, ugh, men are assholes. Like, okay, who fucking cares? If you're not an asshole, then you know she's not talking about you. Naomi says, I'm not going to give details and everything, but both women and men have victimized me with violence before, and I have never used that as an excuse to hate an entire demographic. Yes, yes. And I think, like, again, if you're talking about like what a woman is venting, if a woman individually is like, ugh, I hate men and I don't want to talk to them, like, okay, who fucking cares? That's not the same as like an entire machine grinding people into a pulp, women dying of sepsis from a like what otherwise would have just been a miscarriage. Like, yeah. Yeah, it's not like there's an executive order declaring all men as assholes. Give it time. When President Taylor Swift comes in, we will officially have an executive order that says all men are bad. All men are bad forever. Hmm. I'm just doing a little quick scroll of Blue Sky to see if there's anything fun. I see Trump is wearing a big old red hat that says USA on it. President Roan, true. President Chapel. Yeah, this is what happens when you follow Aaron Rupar. Sometimes you just get a bunch of little clips of Trump from one big speech. I can't believe we have 108 likes. We have 43 viewers right now. Hell yes. We have Trump now, so according to The Simpsons, we get President Lisa Simpson next, right? That would be fun. Someone dress up as Lisa Simpson and run for president, please. Apparently, Trump was an hour late to an event where he was addressing service members today. Wow. My voice is so sleepy. I feel like we're in a little bit of a news lull, or maybe I just don't give a shit about the type of news that's very popular right now. Like, okay, Trump is being a dumbass. I get it. Like, okay, cool. I have deep trauma regarding men and SA, yet I am also the operations lead for the largest monthly gay men's sex party around. I love my boys, and I know that they will protect me as I have already shown I protect my boys. Super weird to go from a position of I will never be in a gay men's space to I am now the matron of a 700 plus men's sex club. Healing takes us to weird places. Yeah. Healing is wonderful. Healing takes you to all kinds of unexpected places. I've also replaced our entire welcome/ticketing crew with trans women. I like knowing I'm putting gig money into the hands of other trans women. Yes, I love that. Like, you know, like Jimmy is like hiring. Like, there's a huge proportion of trans people in the company at the line. Like, I mean, we're all basically like sort of in a loose verbal contract. But like, if you just look at the total volume of hosts, I mean, I don't know how many hosts we have total. Let's just say we have 20 hosts total. 4 of them are trans. So I like that. And like Arden is a big part of production. Like she helps make a lot of decisions about the channel, and I have been relatively influential on the channel, like not in like as big a ways as Arden, but I definitely have like advocated for things and gotten Jimmy on board with stuff that like otherwise would not have happened. So yeah, it's just funny that in our company, like, yeah, there's like a disproportionate number of trans people for a cis owned organization, but like it's owned by a cis queer man. So there is that. I started a leatherworking experiment the day before yesterday, and now I've got to deal with all the mistakes and funny little issues that have ensued. No. I went to do a watercolor last night, but um, I ended up throwing it away because I think I just need to accept that the cheaper paper that I got is not really, you cannot use it for a wet wash. The paper like absorbs the water weird in a way that like, you know, sometimes you need things to stay wet for longer so that you can put on more wet and have them blend in. Whereas like stuff dries so fast that then when I'm trying to put more wet on, then it just is wet on dry, and that doesn't look the same. Yet I'm shocked that you and Forrest hadn't met until the other day. Well, okay, so I want to be clear, June, that Forrest and I had met before that Skep Talk, but we did not really have much opportunity to really like speak and introduce because it's trial by fire. Listen, if you're learning a new job and the job is a live stream, then you have to work on the fly. You have to get shit on the fly. And like we had one week where Forrest was really late showing up. And like also I was just being trained on a lot of technical stuff, so I wasn't necessarily available to talk to the hosts because I was learning from the other producers. So yes, now finally nobody needs to check up on me and make sure that I am doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. And if everybody shows up on time, which means early, then we can have time to chat and everything. But we didn't have that time, partially because Forrest was like, I'm exhausted and I'm cramming food into my mouth, you know? So, and I need to be better about actually introducing myself instead of just being like, hey guys, you know, to a group of people I've never spoken to before. I need to get a better space for woodworking. I've been sitting on a project for a hot minute and I really shouldn't be making more wood dust from sanding in the apartment. My partner and I were just talking about this with our friend who also does trade stuff and is thinking about moving up here. And I looked it up and there are maker spaces in the area. And like a maker space is a place where like you pay a membership fee and they have a bunch of tools and you can come in and use the tools and work on your big projects and stuff. Some maker spaces have storage space where you can store a project, but it seems like some maker spaces are basically like you have to bring in whatever you're working on and then bring it back home with you when you're finished because we don't have space for extra clutter around here. But yeah, maker spaces also can be very useful for woodworking because they'll have a lot of those woodworking tools and the equipment to clean up everything, you know? Skirts are slut pants now? Okay. That's fun. Babe, hold on. I'm gonna go put on my slut pants. Like, what? A news lull sounds fantastic under the circumstances. No news is good news. Yeah, I would hope. There is, I guess, a little bit of news in terms of Portland because, listen, our attorney general here in Oregon was fucking ready to go with this whole suing. Basically, you know, the National Guard is being sent into Portland, blah, blah, blah. 200 Oregon National Guardsmen have been deployed to Portland. They've been federalized and sent there. And we were fucking ready with that suit. And so we are now suing. And I believe an injunction has been placed where basically a judge has now said, or maybe even, did they already declare it? U.S. judge blocks Trump's deployment of Oregon National Guard until at least October 18th. I'm looking at Reuters right now. I've been wondering about woodworking and metalworking in my apartment. All the floors are carpeted but the kitchen and bathrooms. Yeah, similar thing we got going on. We think maker spaces are great, and I want to go check out the one that we have here and or the one that's nearest by, I guess, and see what the deal is. Let's look. A federal judge on Saturday temporarily blocked U.S. President Trump from deploying 200 Oregon National Guard troops to the city of Portland while a lawsuit challenging the move plays out. The ruling by U.S. District Judge Karen Emergut in Portland is a setback for Trump as he seeks to dispatch the military to cities he describes as lawless over the objections of their Democratic leaders. Emergut, who was appointed by Trump during his first term, blocked the Republican president from sending troops until at least October 18, saying that there was no evidence that recent protests rose to the level of a rebellion or seriously interfered with law enforcement. Excuse me, sorry about that. So at least for a couple weeks, we have time, and it will probably be declared like unconstitutional, whatever. So, but it remains to be seen, like, are they going to listen to the courts? Are they going to obey the court saying, no, you can't do that? Supreme Court now regretting not going further with their ruling on injunctions. Oh, what did they say? Did they cancel injunctions recently or something? I don't know. I don't pay attention to everything the Supreme Court does. It's like all bad. All bad news. Only bad news. Woodworking, Beavis and Butthead laughing in the background. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, jeez. Jiminy Christmas. How will the Supreme Court handle it? Badly. My prediction. They had a ruling that basically got rid of national injunctions. Well, this is only applying at the state level. Like, they tried to federalize the Oregon National Guard to be deployed in Oregon, but there is no emergency. So that's what the judge is basically saying. We still need time to ascertain whether there is an emergency. So because we have not yet ascertained that, we're not going to allow you to deploy the troops just in case. We're not going to allow you to do a constitutional violation just in case something bad might be happening. No, we feel like we really need to have a justification for sending in the National Guard before we let you do it. My computer seems to be freezing up. Freezing up. I do not need this tab open anymore. Make the Reuters go away. Yeah, my computer does not like me. It's slowing way down. My two passions are comp sci and hand woodworking, so making little specialty tools per project is just something that happens, but making a custom scraper can be incredibly annoying. Yeah. Wait, what? Maxwell in the YouTube chat says, yeah, that's not going to work. The admin is going to ignore that, and not even wrongly so. What? What the fuck are you talking about? People are silly. Y'all are silly little beans. Silly little boys. A court in Arkansas could have declared after Brown v. Board, no emergency here. Should there then have been no nationalization of the Guard? I mean, I feel like there's a clear fucking difference. And, like, there's a reason why we have a complex system of checks and balances, If we can clearly see that there's, like, hardly even protests happening, to be clear. There's, like, hardly even protests happening in Portland. They've been crying and complaining about the ICE facility being protested. It's like 20 people. Until this weekend, when they were, like, saying that they were going to deploy the Guard, and therefore people have come out and started protesting more, but it's been like a handful of people. So, like, there are situations where you do need to check the facts and make sure that what you're doing is like lawful. Like obstructing desegregation was unlawful, you know? And it was clearly unlawful. We could clearly see the difference. In this situation, 20 protesters hanging out outside of an ice place and attempting to deploy the military to for a Republican president to say, I'm going to send the military to occupy this city for an unspecified amount of time. I don't know. Yeah, US government following the law, we fucking wish. Truly. I think allowing the states to second guess the Fed in that way leads to more problems long term. I mean, it sounds like what you want is for the federal government to occupy the states with their military. Rather than what we have is like the states have their own military. Each state has their own little national guard, their own little military, so that they can protect people within their borders and contribute to national security. What you want is for the Fed to be able to use the military to occupy wherever they've decided they just want to have troops indefinitely for no fucking like, you know what I'm saying? Like one deployment to one school to ensure that we're going to like allow this, or maybe like a couple of schools where there were particular issues with this, like to deploy like a very small number of troops to ensure that children can enter their school building. If the state had decided like, oh, actually that's bad, like probably it would have gotten in front of a judge who would have then decided not to proceed with obstruction. Like it's just really fucking weird. I think the Fed has that power for a reason. It's currently being abused. Maxwell, I would say that the states have power over their own fucking sovereignty for a reason. That, like, there is a tension that has always existed. This country is founded on the idea that an authoritarian should not have extensive control, and that states and municipalities, like, people locally understand what is needed locally, and therefore we must respect the state's rights in some situations where, like, the state gets to have something going on that the federal government, like, can overreach in some situations and can't overreach in some situations. And I'm not saying that it's perfect or anything, but for you to say, like, a judge should not be able to evaluate a situation and say, hold on, we need more evidence to suggest that you should deploy these troops. Like, what the fuck are you arguing for? Yeah, like this is when you are talking about violating the Posse Comitatus Act, there needs to be a high burden of proof. Legalism as a moral system is stupid, by the way. That's true too. Yeah. But I don't think that that's necessarily what the argument is. Yeah, didn't somebody actually say that, Shakespeare? One of the Fox News hosts. People were talking about this in the midst of the Jimmy Kimmel thing. That like while Jimmy Kimmel was off the air, there was a Fox News host who said, like people who are homeless should be given euthanasia, like they should be euthanized, and they still have their job. I'm just saying it's relatively easy to corrupt the judicial process at the state level. Okay. Well, this was a Republican. This was a Trump appointed judge here. which means that it's a federal judge. If it's a Trump-appointed judge, Maxwell, then the judge who has put a stay on this order for now, who says like, hey, you can't deploy the National Guard at least until October 18th. We need a couple weeks to look at the evidence of this. That was a Trump-appointed federal judge. So it's not like the state just saying, nah, like. So it kind of sounds like it's the checks and balances working the way that it's supposed to, actually. Hello, Riffs No Leads. Welcome in. Yes, reminding everybody to hit like on the stream. That's true. Brian Kilmeade. Oh, I don't actually know anybody's names, so that could be the guy who said that on Fox News, but I don't know. This happened right around the same time as the Kimmel thing, making for a pretty spectacular contrast. Mehdi Hassan had a post something like, if only Kimmel had instead called for killing homeless people. True. Maxwell, I think that you're just like, I agree with you that I don't necessarily think that this court thing is going to stop him, but I also think that you're a fucking idiot if you don't think that the courts deserve the opportunity. A federal court, again, it's not like the state of Oregon has just said, actually no, Mr. President, go fuck yourself. A federal judge, probably in the circuit court that Oregon belongs to, a federal judge has said, hey, you know, federal law actually matters. And the federal law says you cannot deploy the military for no fucking reason. So maybe we need a little bit more evidence. So, like, what you're saying is you don't think that there should be an option to double check before deploying the military onto American soil. Because that's all that's happened right now. All that's happened right now is the Attorney General of Oregon said, hey, excuse me, actually, this might be like unconstitutional. And then for the federal court to say, I agree, this might be unconstitutional. Therefore, let's take a couple weeks to double check. Yeah, it is really embarrassing that our human rights are being stripped by some of the most incompetent people in the world. It's crazy. Ooh, I'm almost out of water again. Fat Knight says, I'm adding here that the recent ruling on gerrymandering from the Utah Supreme Court kind of disproves a lot of this stuff. That court is completely stacked with conservatives. The state government is super corrupt, and still the legislature is being held accountable for ignoring the Independent Redistricting Commission. The federal Supreme Court does not do this consistently, like, at all. Yeah, that's the thing about state-level Republicans, is that state-level Republicans do actually have values. So if there is if it's just strictly on paper unconstitutional, they are more often deferring to the rule of law rather than overturning the rule of law, as we see at the Supreme Court level, the federal Supreme Court level, like, all the fucking time. Quote from Malcolm X, "It is criminal to teach a man not to defend himself when he is the constant victim of brutal attacks." Good quote. Okay, it's a little bit early today, but my voice is sore and I have to do some things between now and when I'm producing in 2 hours. So I have 2 hours to get some laundry and some dishes done and whatever else I need to do before I am going to be stuck here for a couple hours. Yeah, 4:30. Got to get going. There has been good news for trans people. Just type into ChatGPT any good news for trans people. I'm not going to ask ChatGPT for news. I don't need news from ChatGPT. I go to Aaron in the morning. I'm like, Aaron, tell me what news there is. Anyway, yes, my voice is tired. I'm going to go ahead and call it from today. But thank you so much for joining me, everybody. Thanks, everybody who hit the like button and donated and hung out. I appreciate y'all. I'm planning to be here again on Wednesday, unless something crazy happens between now and then. And then currently my plan is to not stream on Sunday next week because I'm supposed to do something with my partner. I will let you know if that changes. So have fun, everybody. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. And I'll see you on Hump Day.